print the halt level of 116. Let's take a quick look at this one. Let's see if it opens up at said 40. There we're open, high a day, 128. Seller at 26 right now. So 27, 30, Joey. Oh no. Here we go, high a day breach. That is a new high a day, 130. Current bar low, 122. Prior area close, 116. So keep that in mind. Current bar low on the 5, 122. Halt level, 116. So hope everybody trades OBAI pretty safely and they print up storms on it. But you know what? These ones are around for a good time.
You getting in one of these? Considering I thought we were going to talk about it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah, man. Are you gonna hop in one of those?
Joey, can I say something to you, brother?
Yeah.
I'm interested in robotics for practical, real-world uses. I probably won't be interested in them as toys.
As toys? Really?
Yeah. No, I won't. Are you interested in them as toys?
Yeah.
Why?
Why not, man? You think about where you can go in this suit. Like, think about from the cool terrains and stuff.
So am I going to be able to sit in this thing?
Yeah, that's the objective of it.
I thought that was like a little pig that they were just demonstrating it's a toy.
No, but this is legit. Bro, I'm pretty sure you brought
Like the Mech Warrior?
Dude, like the Mech Warrior, like what they have in
I
Avatar.
take everything I said back.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, dude. Like, this is, like, don't you think that this is the next potential, like, listen, I'm not talking next week.
Mech Warrior?
Like, faces in this thing that you couldn't as we are right now.
Mech? Hold on, Joey.
Yeah, pull up the
Mech Warrior, man. There we go.
Yeah, just,
so look,
there it is.
this is for war, clearly. Yeah. But the point is very well taken over here. Let's load this up. That one sucks,
absolutely. Man. Pull up the Avatar one.
Bad,
yeah, that thing looks like the same thing.
Which one do you want?
Avatar. Go to Avatar. Bot thing, whatever it's called. Anyway, we don't know what it's called, man. It's 202. We're out of here. When robot.
There we go. Hold on.
Anyways, that's not it. We're not going to get too complicated into that.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, what do you mean you wouldn't mind that, dude? You could go anywhere at probably 3 times the speed, and then you're just controlling the robot in this suit.
Can it fly?
Put boosters on it. It's the upgraded version.
All right, guys. Had a great show today. Hope everybody stayed green. Neil is at the big board. Katina Man is at the desk, and they're ready to take you into the afternoon show. We'll see everybody bright and early tomorrow. Take care.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, good show there, guys. As we continue to watch out for SpaceX, we continue to watch out for all the noise happening today. ES and NASDAQ both down just over 1%, of course. And, you know, as you continue to watch out for this market, you're going to have to make sure that you do take some certain risks in today's market. I mean, that's the thing about trading SpaceX. And I was actually just talking with Neil and Joe, Sharif, everybody. And I think this is trading a lot differently here today than it has been, obviously, the last 2 days. I mean, it's only day 3. And the fact that now there's options available with SpaceX. So even if you just come over quickly to the chart here, I'll show you. I'm still long. So we still have that's still their position board. We'll get that fixed in a couple seconds. But, you know, just before we left, you guys at 11 o'clock, and I said I had a stop order at 204. Well, I mean, we were able to get, like, and this is off along 205, so $1 worth of risk. And this is what I mean by it's trading a little differently. Like, even though it's still choppy, you still are getting the upside moves, but then all of a sudden you're watching the options market, and you could see this kind of flush out a little bit sometimes. So, you know, $1.50 worth of risk. There's 214, that's $10. There's 218, that's 14. So it's giving you some options. And right now, I was actually debating getting a little bit more here at VWAP, but we have a few things that obviously we need to talk about before we get going now, and that would be sort of our lesson of the day here. And the thing is, stop overloading your charts. You do not need to have a whole bunch of indicators lined up in order to make a successful trade. What you're actually looking to do is simplify your charts. What we have on our charts, something like volume, levels, VWAP, just those 3 points will change your complete look on your chart, and we're about to prove it. Make your charts simpler and the trades will happen easier, and here's Neil to show you exactly how.
Only 3 indicators you need on your chart. Keep it clean, and we're going to clean up your charts in just a few minutes here. And very simple, which you want to try to do if you can. And first of all, you've got to understand what you are trying to get away from. chaos. Chaos of the mind. Chaos with too many things on the charts. There's lines to the left of them, to the right of them. I don't know what to do. You're going to have signal conflicts because what? If you have too many indicators, one's telling you to buy, one's telling you to sell, another one's telling you to hold, you don't even know what's going on. Then on top of that, you will have delayed action. You're not going to be decisive. You can't be decisive if you have way too many things out there telling you what to do. You'll have analysis paralysis, and it'll be impossible to make decision, and visual clarity loss. This is probably the most important one. When you are setting things up for your trade, you want it to be clear. You're about to put money on the line. Do you want to be sitting there like, oh, is this the level? Is it really breaking? Is it not? Well, if you've got way too many things to look at, it's nearly impossible. You can't do that to yourself, everybody. So we got to think about what the setups are that you need to focus on, and we've got a few that are the most important. Hey, everybody, it's the volume-weighted average price. Stop me if you heard this before. This gives you that exact price, and it's like a moving average, where the average buyers and sellers based on volume are getting prints. Now, is it always the be-all, end-all? Not necessarily, but what it can give you is when a stock is going explosive up or a place to pull back into for support. And it works in both directions. You can find yourself with resistance, again on the way upside for support, place to get out of shorts, engineer longs, a place to cover shorts, maybe look for shorts, reversals as it breaks back above. It gives you a nice line in the sand to have a bit of a directional bias where you're gonna trade. Now the next one is super important, volume. Everything is about volume. Where people are trading, how much are they trading? Because I'll tell you right now, the difference between a good breakout and a bad one oftentimes is going to be volume. Same stock, pre-market break, you can see the huge volume candle with a little bit of fall through and then even less after the fact. Does the break hold? No. Is it a good up day? Yeah, it's okay. But the break doesn't hold, as opposed to explosive holding higher volumes in the next 3 or 4 candles. And what do? You get a successful break. You get extension. When you are in the trade, or you're looking to add, or should I be taking profit here? Look at that volume. Is it still churning through volume on the way to the upside? It's a great way to be able to judge those breakouts. And you can differentiate between those high odd breakout trades where there's participation by institutions and retail, and the low volume ones where you're the only one buying and you don't want to get caught holding out that bag. The third one is your key levels. This is what traders do in the morning when they're going through their watch list. You've got to try to find key areas to try to transact at. Prior closes, prior day lows, so that when you see a stock break down in a range, you've got target areas to enter. It's a good way to narrow down where you want to trade. It gives you exit stops, entries, take profits as well. You could get your final target for and out at a bottom, at a prior low. It's very important to have an idea of where you want to start executing a trade, where you want to hold it to, and where you're going to get out. And this is simply just keep it simple, like I said. And what I want everyone to do is take this challenge. I know everyone wants to have indicators out the wazoo, but can you have your trend bias set up looking at the volume weighted average price? Can you look at your zone tests, key price levels, lock that in, have volume out there? I don't want to see anybody with a chart that doesn't have volume on it. You need to know if there's other people participating. It's not an exciting trade if nobody else is in it. That's the reality. You don't get momentum without volume. That's where you get suckered into breakouts. And then you can execute your trades with good stop losses, good take profits, and good structure. All you need right now, VWAP, volume, key levels, that's what I want to see, and then we can get that clutter out of your charts.
Thanks, Neil. Guys, strip down your charts, make it as simple as possible. Those are 3 excellent areas to start with. The indicators are key. You just have to know how to use them. The more basic it is, the more advanced your trading will become. Trust me when we tell you that one. Try it right now. I love that challenge that Neil gave you all. Go for it right here, right now. That's a great lesson. Simple charts, simple trades. Do it and let us know in the link in description. Get that going ASAP. All right.
Speaking of volume, you know what does the most volume these days? It begins with an S and ends with an X.
Snapchat.
Actually, Snapchat is
we did have some Snapchat news there.
Well, Snapchat I didn't realize how badly it got mocked.
But yeah, well, no, there was. I think they were coming out with their new glasses or something like that. I saw it on the Midday show.
Yeah, $2,200 glasses at this awe keynote that they had.
Yeah. So yeah, about that. That seems. I think the glasses. I don't really like the form factor of these whole glasses. I mean, I actually think that like the AirPods that you got in your ears right there. With that, I think I was interested to see how Apple was going to put the sort of the cameras in the side of those things. So maybe as you're walking around, it's like seeing what you're seeing, and it can relay some of the information like that. I think the AirPods are the best chance at something like this. What's up, Adara?
Funny here, Sean, because the AirPods we heard about a little bit earlier today, they're thinking they're going to be debuting them in late 2027 along with that Gen 2 of the foldable iPhone. Apparently, as you kind of suggested, the cameras are going to be there to help Siri see what you're seeing. Let's talk about Google, though. ORCL, this company is getting a little bit of a spike higher, rolling out Wear OS 7 to their eligible Pixel Watch devices. So it sounds like a software update for Pixel Watches. ORCL is ticking up a little bit higher here, so I thought I'd mention it. Back to you.
Okay, it's funny because we actually had, it's funny you mentioned that Google, because like we actually had that trade and I put in the wrong stop order. And then I was like, oh, let me wait to get a little lower. And you know where I put the bid, 370.15? It went because at that time, that's where we were with the 25 period. And then it never came in and I got distracted, working on whatever. And then it just started to take off. So yeah, good look there on Google. We definitely wanted that long down there. And we did have it, but unfortunately I put my stop out, executed almost basically immediately. As soon as I pushed enter, I just put the wrong price. And then I said, maybe I don't want to get back in and let's wait for something more convenient down here, like we said with that 25 period. And then all of a sudden now, obviously, we're starting to go upside. So that kind of sucks because here, I can even tell you, it was basically my last trade. There it was long, 30.70.50s. So 370.50, so it would have been a decent one, but that's okay. We'll continue to look for more opportunities like that. I did like that Google down there as we go. I'm still, Neil's mentioning there, just teasing around with SpaceX, the one that's doing the most volume, 250 million shares again today. You weren't here in the afternoon. I think we might do more today than it did yesterday.
That's insane.
Yeah, because there's yesterday's volume was only 253 or so. It's showing up right here. So yeah, we'll wait now with options back, and that's sort of what we were talking about, how now it's sort of changed with options. They are, as you can see, the position board at the bottom is down, so they're going to work on that. As soon as that gets up, you'll see it, but I'm still long, just small, right down here at 205. So hopefully we can get back upside and have another offer around this 217 and change. Maybe we can grab that, but yeah, SpaceX still on my mind here today, that's for sure. And then we did have a pretty decent trade in the Qs, and look where this one's gone, man. Like we got out when that broke the 50 period there, the 25 period, and now it's just like, wow, all the way down. We wrote down on our note today, 85 short, and that's really been printing today. Maybe we get back into this name, but let's go back over to Adara.
Take a look here at the market. We do have some comments coming from the foreign minister of Iran. Nothing massive, but just some things I think is worth addressing to you guys. Foreign minister of Iran saying that plans are to start negotiations between the U.S. and Iran immediately after signing that MOU. So they're going to start the negotiations as the MOU was signed on Friday, June 19th. Then apparently after the first phase, there's going to be a 60-day negotiation period for a final agreement. The final agreement will have to include ways to address the nuclear issue and the lifting of sanctions. Again, this is coming from Iran, so keep that in mind here. That's all I'm getting here. If I get any more details, I will let you guys know. But again, 60-day negotiation window, nuclear and sanctions will have to be addressed. Back to you.
Thank you, as always, Adara. So, well, yeah, the position board's not working.
Oh my God, 113 now?
I'm out of that. I was just telling people in the chat, we got trailed out of OBAI through 110 on a dollar long. It's not an automatic. Someone's saying, are you going to get back in? Well, we'll see if a dollar holds, right? Like it just put in a double top. Like this was more of a, I was telling Joe, like this was kind of like a trend break and then the hold of the dollar level. But on the way back, maybe wait for VWAP or some kind of consolidation sideways. I'm into some IBIT after being short earlier at VWAP. I'm now long VWAP. See, we were just talking about the volume weighted average price, right? And sometimes it's a pivot spot. Try it here when it confirms underneath, doesn't work, but now we go into the long and then trying to play this to the upside. As Bitcoin has a chance to, I mean, it's stronger than the Qs for a change. How's that for flipping things on our heads, right? Like the NASDAQ is trend down and Bitcoin's above VWAP. That's probably the first time in Heck, I don't remember. I don't know, weeks, months? It's probably not months. So let's just say it's been a while since we've had the market at the lows and IBIT or Bitcoin trying to trend higher. So a little bit of a bid coming in, but if it loses VWAP, remember we're still in a weak. Like today, the market is weak. I don't want to say we're in a weak market when we're basically like a hop, skip, and a jump from the all-time highs. But today we're in a weak market, so I don't want to give this past that volume weighted average price. We just had a super chat in here, and I don't know if the thing is up. So, position board's up.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it is. Okay, so it's working. There we go. Thank you very much. Luis Suarez. Hey, don't bite us. Can Palantir buy BBAI?
No, headbutt, I think it was.
Was he?
No, it was a bite. Yeah, was it a bite?
Suarez bites.
Yeah, you beat the Italian
He's
guy.
like the Hannibal Lecter of football.
That's right.
Can Palantir buy BBAI? Rumor on TikTok? Is that for real?
It's not a rumor.
I mean, could they? Of course they could. I mean, Palantir's pretty big. They could buy.
If that happens.
They can buy any small capper they want to. I don't know if I want to go believing TikTok rumors for.
Is TikTok all about the rumors?
For acquisitions. But I mean, look, anything is possible, but you don't. If you start speculating on small cap companies on the basis of that they will get bought out, the problem is always going to be, even if they might be, your problem is time frame if that's what you're betting on. You better like the company for other reasons, and then a buyout just becomes.
Yeah, you never want to. Don't buy Big Bear AI because of a rumor there on.
Yeah, buy it because you like it, and if it happens,
you could take a little bit. I mean, if it gets bought out, it'd probably be 2 or 3 times where it is right now. But we'll wait to see what's going on there. We are seeing some updates out of Origenics right now, ticker OGEN on the NYSE American. The company has now activated its Phase 2A clinical trial in Australia, with its first site fully operational and patient dosing expected next. They're developing ONP-002, an intranasal treatment targeting concussion and mild traumatic brain injury, an area where there are currently no FDA-approved therapies. Alongside that, Origenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, and resolving liabilities, as well as restoring exchange compliance. The focus now shifts to execution, with clinical progress underway and additional CNS assets under evaluation. Make sure you do check that link in description for more information on Origenics. We want to thank them for sponsoring this first segment here today. It's a little frustrating because we love SpaceX, and we've been talking about SpaceX, and SpaceX has been fantastic. I love you, SpaceX, and Elon Musk, and everything else. All right, but today we wrote down, this goes out at 8 o'clock, okay, 8 o'clock to 8:30, somewhere like that. We wrote down USO short 117. So I looked at USO right here. At 9:40, the high of the day was 117 clean right there. Now you're down $3.5 down into 113 and change. So that, Mr. Katina, is a fail. Then we look back here, it's all good. There's the TQQs, right? Now this is not a fail because we did it. But there it is, short the 85 area, market feels tired. And again, this is at 8:30 that we write this down. So then we just go over here and we say, let's see what the TQQs are. Here's 85 right here. Happened at 9:50. And again, like, I want to reward myself for taking these shares. And so when it's coming back down in, and like I said, man, like we've done really well. We did really well on this trade, but I got to figure out a way. Like, I guess it's this 50 period moving average, but then it might have broke right there, which is where we started to get a bunch out right there, which is not good enough. That's only 70 cents. But then this 50 period moving average, really, if anything, maybe I would have held the majority of it till there, and then maybe a second break there. The 200 period is one thing that hasn't even broke yet. The reason why it's tough to use that, and Neil just did a thing about trying to clean up your charts. I mean, this is what I have, basically just moving averages, and that's it, right? One of them is VWAP, which is this purple line right there. Then we have a 50, 200, and a 25. And those are like the levels that I'm looking at. So we've got levels, and then down here is volume. So, my charts are pretty clean, just like that example. But at the end of the day, it's like, I can't just go based on this 200 period moving average because, then a winning trade, when it's down here and we're $1 in the money or whatever, and we're pretty happy with it, like, I'm not going to give it all the way back to zeros again. Like, I got to take something out. So that's part of what I'm trying to deal with and trying to figure that all out. But really missed opportunity there for sure on USO. And, the thing is, we got that news this morning about oil, And we talked about President Trump came out and said the strait will be opened on Friday. And then there was some back and forth with that. Obviously, there's been more stories since that's happened. But USO right now down 6%, oil down 6%. And you could see we've now, and I just heard this on the way in when I was listening to Bloomberg on the way into work today. And that was, they said that it was the worst week for the whole year. I don't know if that's true. Like this looks pretty bad, but at the end of the day, if they start up here at 140 and it goes to 114, then that's pretty bad. So maybe it's the worst 7 days that we've seen in the energy market since the start of the year, and that would make sense as we start to calm.
Makes sense.
Hopefully, we start to calm down in that spot. But yeah, that's what we're doing, and so we're just hanging out right now and trying to. You guys can definitely hit us up right now. Great show, guys. Good job. Yeah, the renovations. We've done. I guess maybe what's up to Chart Hustle. Maybe you haven't been here in a minute, but it's been a couple months there, and it's been great. Shout out to Pete Rose there. Is that Charlie Hustle?
Well, it says Chart Hustle, but I see that. I'm like,
who's that guy? PCA. He's pretty good on the Cubs.
Pete Crow
Armstrong.
Armstrong.
Yeah, he was. I think he hit the cycle yesterday.
That dude,
like that. Apparently, he's fast as hell.
He plays outfield with a football mentality. And which is a pretty perilous if you play in the one park that literally has a brick wall in center field.
Okay.
Which he doesn't seem to care about. So you want the Robinhood Ventures Fund.
Is that what it is?
You still get. Obviously, we just had. We're gonna get open.
Is that what that is? RVI.
But they've got Databricks, Revolut, Mercor. There's still other things that are private that this has going on with it. What I don't know particularly about this, which we knew with Destiny, was the high premium that you paid. And because you were paying a high premium relative to the private value of the holdings with DXYZ, like when SpaceX came out, that thing just tanked. So I think that's one thing that you have to watch. Like as you get the big issues coming out and going public, you get these like dump offs in these. But it is catching a bit of a bid. It was a huge run up in May and gave up everything on the breakout back. It looks like it's pretty constructive here, like holding 50, breaking that little bit of a downtrend. But what it comes down to, I can talk all the technicals in the world. Like the reason why people like Destiny was because of SpaceX, because they believe in SpaceX. So you got to look at the holdings. Do you like those companies that you believe in, and you want to play the hype, right? And play the hype in those names. That's what it's all about. Sure, it can look technically great for a bounce, but I think that's going to be the more important thing. And then you want to try to identify which future consider private do you love, which IPOs are the ones that you like. It's easy. It's a heck of a lot easier to say I like SpaceX, I like Anthropic, than it is to pick a fund that's probably got a dozen things in it that most people have not yet heard of. That's where you want to do at least a little bit of homework. So I'm not here to tell you that I know a great deal on all of them. I can tell you the technical looks good for that relief rally after the SpaceX bottom, because this bottomed out when SpaceX came to market, and now you made a bit of a constructive bottom there in Robinhood's venture fund. So yeah, good luck to you. Just always be a little bit wary about the actual net value, which is easy to do now that there's AI. Like it used to be back in the day, it was a little bit of math to try to figure out the fair value of these things relative to their holdings. But now you can literally just ask AI and it'll be good enough for you. But that's one thing you want to keep in mind. I see we're going to be looking at no change tomorrow.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that we have. Are we going to do a dare? Let's go to a dare.
No, I was going to go to you.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because you have this up.
Yeah, I was just going to show that we didn't talk too much about it here today, but we are now just under 1 hour, 1 day away from the FOMC. And then, it was sort of this little guy was over on this side before. So now we have 0.5% chance of a rate hike, or otherwise said 99.6% chance of no movement tomorrow. So we'll see what's happening with Mr. Warsh and company. And then it gets 10% chance of a rate hike moving into the next meeting in July. And then we take off August, and then it goes pretty much a quarter of a chance that we start going. And then by the time we get to December, that's when we're actually more likely to have one with a small % chance of 2 rate hikes. So tomorrow should be pretty interesting here in the afternoon. Make sure you do join us here. I promise you it'll be just as fun, if not more fun, than the SpaceX IPO. No, I can't say that with a straight face. It will not be as exciting as the
Fed Day?
It will not be as exciting as the SpaceX IPO, but it'll be exciting.
It's more exciting than a normal day.
It'll be cool because we'll get to see what Warsh is saying, right? How that looks, what color his tie is, and things like that. We'll be able to see exactly the new nuances of how Kevin Warsh talks and how the peanut gallery, sort of how he answers those questions, and that should give us a good indication of what we're thinking about moving forward. How long are the terms? Do you know, Adara, how long a Fed chair term is? Is it 4 years or?
4 years. There is an option of renewal. Powell served 2 4-year terms. That's why we had him through 2 administrations, but they are 4 years each. And then I believe the full governor term is 14 years, which is why you can have the possibility of being a Fed chair, then coming out to serve the remainder of your term. Though, to my knowledge, we haven't had anybody do it in quite some time before Powell.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll see what Warsh has to say. You got at least 4 years of Kevin Warsh, unless he gets fired or something like that. And I know he can't get fired, but you can be threatened to be fired many times.
Into moving.
And that's funny. President Trump got mad at Powell for the renovations. He got mad at Powell for not decreasing rates. But at the end of the day, Jerome Powell leaves us here with the markets at all-time highs. So far so good on that one. We'll see. I mean, let us know what you guys think in the chat. Do you think that Warsh is going to be as successful as Powell or not? I mean, let us know what you guys are thinking. And if I'm not like, I haven't made any investment decisions or anything based on a new Fed chair.
Nah.
I don't know how much you guys are actually looking into that, if you guys are quants out there adjusting based on, what you've seen. But if we do have, I don't know if we're going to have Brian Shannon on later on, but we've scheduled. So, okay, perfect. So we'll wait to see about that one. But for right now, we're excited to talk about, obviously, Robinhood and some of their venture funds. It's kind of funny because if you were excited to own this during SpaceX, I mean, you would have been able to buy it, I guess, last week around $36, $37, and then you popped up into $47 right there on that. You've basically gotten, I think, a very similar return. I mean, that's 150 up to 215, so that's adding $65 onto 150. So a little bit of a better return on SpaceX by itself, but that's a good little move up there for RVI. So I want to thank that super chat there for actually bringing that to our attention, because maybe there's something there about that, moving forward. So there it is.
Dave Z, spend 6 months studying statistics till you live and breathe standard deviations. VWAP, MACD can be tuned. SpaceX, if no rug pull by Friday, strong hold. Look, man, it's definitely defied expectations. I think, do you need to spend 6 months studying statistics? I think it can be valuable. I'm not just saying that because I study statistics in university, but you have to remember, statistics are. They always say, like, statistics are the easiest way to convince yourself of something that's wrong, because they can be very easily manipulated. You have to throw that out there all the time. But I got to tell you, when it comes to SpaceX, I remember the first day, okay? And we were all sitting here. We were all here. All of you were here. And everyone was talking about how overvalued this was going to be and how it was going to rug pull. And you heard us talking about it too. It's like, well, what was the concern? They just run the bottoms and that would be it. And valuation this and so much. And then look at what's actually happening. For 3 days, we're running up. Now, this reminds me, I didn't think this was going to be Circle. Like, I really thought it would be something a little bit different.
Circle. It's not going to be Circle.
No, nothing is. Like Circle, I guess I have to go further than a daily chart to be able to show you.
Circle doubled, I think, maybe?
Yeah, on a weekly, Circle for 3 weeks, and then the 4th week was the top. It was 69. Did it really open at 69? I guess it did. 69.
I think it was 68.
It tagged $300.
Right, exactly.
Now, do I think SpaceX can do that? Of course not.
That would mean, what, 1,000?
Yeah, it'd just be too much to go 4x. But this ended up grinding higher longer than I think a lot of people believed. And I think SpaceX, for being up 3 days, is already done. This was silly. This was silly. It was a different market, obviously much smaller. But right now, it's defying expectations. And I think if you get wrapped up in this, it's got to come back in, you're going to forget that oftentimes you can last, it can be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? Like, the time frame by which this may or may not drop or pull back in can be longer than you expect. Now, I still haven't adjusted my plan getting in the long term, which was what I said, wherever it is, up, down, left, right, or center, I'd buy like a 20 to 25% dip, no matter what. That obviously is nowhere close to happening. I can live with that. I bought a very small position to get involved when it pulled back on day one because I was like, this is holding up better than I expected. But now I'm just sort of FOMO, like I'll tell you, I'm FOMO like everybody else. My brother probably wants to kick my butt, my older brother, because I advised him. Sure. We were talking, but you wanted to know what to do with his Sidhu and his Rocket Labs before the SpaceX IPO, and it was a couple weeks before, and I was like, well, I mean, it makes sense to take some profit. They're running it up in sympathy. And then he was like, would you roll it into the SpaceX IPO? And I was like, I don't know, I'd probably wait. Because I told him I'm waiting. I said the same thing I would say to you guys. I said, I am waiting because I think I want to buy the dip when it inevitably goes down. That hasn't been right. So like the trade's been good, but it hasn't been right. JC, we have another super chat in here, and this one's from Nick. Hey, Nick. So now you can see that's the going to Mars that I asked for. So Elon's face
is the rocket blows up there, which...
Well, that's not the goal. There's no point. You do not want, you don't want to explode the rocket on Mars. Plus also it kind of rams into Elon's face, which is on Mars, which is pretty cool. We're going to go to Adara, then we have a super chat from Nick that we'll be able to talk about. Oh, no, we're going to the screen with Adara.
Yes.
And then we'll come back and Nick will get your super chat.
Here we are for this afternoon's edition of To the Window, To the Wall, where I take a look on this wall into a window of the market. The segment name is still not great. If you guys have suggestions, let me know. In the meantime, let's take a look here at the Fed votes for last meeting. Sean was just mentioning this meeting. This is going to be happening tomorrow, June 17th, 2 p.m. Eastern. Technically, the meeting started today, but we'll get the decision tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, including the summary of economic projections, which we don't get every meeting. 2:30 p.m., we'll have the first ever conference under new Fed Chair Kevin Warsh. Now, I wanted to go over the vote from last meeting because it was really significant. It was the first time since 1992 where we had 4 dissenting votes. So let's get into that. So for 1 year, 8 Feds voting in favor of what we had. Powell will still be voting, but he'll be actually a member of the Board of Governors instead of a Fed chair. So that's automatically going to change. Kevin Warsh, of course, will have a vote now. But let's move on to the dissent side of things, because this is where things get kind of interesting. Fed's Myron voted in 6 meetings during his very brief tenure as a Fed governor. At all 6 meetings, he dissented. This was the final of those 6 meetings. So he dissented. He wanted a cut. But again, he's not going to be a factor tomorrow because he's gone. So keep that in mind. We also had 3 Feds who actually voted for keeping rates steady, but didn't want to include any kind of an easing bias in the rate statement. So slightly more cautious here. Those were Feds Logan, Hammock, and Kashkari. I would keep an eye on these 3 names tomorrow because you have to wonder if you're going to get some more dissent from any of these 3 coming up. Again, Powell will still be voting, but not as chair. You'll get Myron will not be voting tomorrow, and you'll get Warsh's vote for the first time in this round of the Fed, because if you guys may recall, he was a Fed governor, the youngest Fed governor in history, going back to the aughts. Have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. In the meantime, here's today's segment of To the Window, To the Wall. Back to you.
A good one, Adara. Yeah, thanks for that one. We did get a story there about Nokia, and the story is just Nokia announces major expansion of U.S. semiconductor tests and packaging in Pennsylvania to bolster AI growth. So we just, we put on a little bit of shares there. It went up to 10s, basically up to VWAP. So bang! I mean, we just did a thing about VWAP. Right up into that level there. We got some out. We're trying to hold it. I'm going to try to see. I actually tried to punch in basically all through here. It just kept on, like, I was missing it and it was taking out the levels. I feel like people were lifting offers because I feel like I was punching long down here and it just kept on missing it, which leads me to believe that, I don't know, I should have been able to get longer. And eventually, by the time it went all the way up here, I really lowered the share size and just was like, I'm not going to chase this thing up too much, but I am going to chase it a little bit. And there it goes, Nokia, still down 5%. But, decent story there. And if I could get more of the story, I would show it to you. But that's what it is right there. It's just, we have our news runner there, but there it is, expansion. Maybe we have it. Oh, that's Iran. That's Iran coming out there again. So we can have a quick look, obviously at USO. But yeah, I'm long Nokia right now. I'm going to get longer. If it dips into the 90s, I'll buy some of that. Iran's top joint military command is Israel should expect a hard response. See, this is the problem with the Iranian armed forces if it doesn't stop. Yeah, so President Trump has voiced his And whatever, man. I mean, we're just here to talk about the market, but you know, well, with respect to USO, I mean, USO was one of the top 3 ideas that I had today, and that was the short there at 117. Wow, they don't really like us on this show, eh? Like, we start talking, and then a minute later, it's like, get the hell off the screen, it's see-ya time. But I was gonna say, like, you know, depending on what your opinion is here, President Trump can't seem to see eye to eye with Israel on, you know, the resolution part of this thing. And now we're getting a little bit more aggression here, possibly coming from Iran. So I don't, you know, maybe this whole Strait of Hormuz is not about to get reopened anytime soon. And, you know, we keep on seeing these headlines, which can't be good. And USO is still down, but you're seeing a little bit of a bump higher. It's actually closed now. Not even that much volume at close. 230 closes in NYMEX, but of course USO keeps on trading. So here's the close in NYMEX. Let me just get this up, and then we'll go over to SIA quickly. Oh, not quickly. You can take as long as she wants. But there's the close. Oops, the charts aren't even working extension out here. So maybe it's not Q. It's not Q. Yeah. CL, I think it was Q though. July, August. Yeah, it is Q. Okay. But anyways, there it is right now. It's done trading for the day, but I know we're missing some data. So we'll just pass on that. And now we will go over, we'll continue to watch USO, see what's going on. It looks like that's starting to get a little higher here. We'll go over and check with SIA at the screen. Or the
That's okay, Sean. At least you didn't get my name wrong. So, sorry about that. We just have a little joke from yesterday. We're going to take a look at the 3 major averages before we begin. The SPY currently in the red, down 0.38%. The triple Qs are down just a little over 1%. We have the Dow maintaining its momentum from earlier in the day. It's up almost 8%. Let's take a look at some stories that I want to talk to you all about. First one we have is General Motors. Ardera did announce this earlier, that it announced a new defense partnership with Lockheed Martin as the country ramps up its production of the weapons. The company executives have said that the deal was facilitated by the U.S. Department of Defense. The White House has held discussions with Ford and GM about better supporting the country's defense industry. Next one we're going to take a look at is e.l.f. e.l.f. Beauty, the company has launched its e.l.f. hair line of products. Late yesterday, it'll begin offering these new products via TikTok Shop on Tuesday and at Target starting next week. So the shares are heading for their 7th winning day, and currently e.l.f. is up 5.12%. Final thing I want to talk to you about today is Huntsman, Huntsman Corporation. Chemicals manufacturer fell around 17% after it has agreed to merge with the rival Olin, O-L-I-N, in an all-stock deal. So after the merger, the new company will be called Olin Huntsman, and the deal is expected to close in the first half of 2027. As a reaction to this, Olin shares also slipped somewhere close to 6%. That's all for your happening now. Sending it back to the guys.
You weren't here yesterday, so I solved the problem already. It could be Sierra, because then you have Sia and Adera. And that way, I can't really screw that up. Or some people said in the chat there was another one in there that was pretty good.
I'm gonna do like this when you talk about Sierra.
Sidera or Sidera, something like that. I don't know. Anyways, doesn't matter. We'll get it right at some point.
As long as you ride with the Trader TV Live team,
yeah, you'll be fine.
Then you know what's up.
We'll be aight. We'll be aight.
That music video is okay. I mean, you know, as far as music videos.
Sierra?
Goes, it's aight.
Is that Sierra? Yeah, Russell Wilson. Shout out to Russell.
It's not a bad video. Nick Dubs, thoughts on RXC? Did we not address the super chat? Our bad.
I don't think so. Was it? What was it?
No, I guess there's a few super chats that we didn't get to. We'll get to them all. And Rackspace, I tried the breakout on Rackspace today. Obviously couldn't hold. Remember VWAP? Ooh, look at VWAP. So you like it first swing. They're the ones that got the AMD partnership. I'm generally not the biggest. I hate it when you lose like a potential breakout level. So it gets positive news and kind of fails the high break, still above 6. I just feel like when I look at this chart, like what's like wrong to me if you're looking here is to 5 or to 4. Like it's this trend here, which is actually under 5, or it's wrong under the 50 period. And if I'm looking at, just talking about myself here, like if I'm wrong under there or wrong under here, I don't know, would I want to buy it at 6? Would I want to buy it up here, risk 20 to 25%? I guess you're playing for the breakout. I tend to want to, if I see this failure, I tend to think pull back all the way. and then be 5 to 4, like 5 long into 4 because it failed the high. But I see what you're saying, Nick, and it's a good news story. I just hate when you fail that kind of a break. It just kind of sucks. And I know we have I was going to go to this, and we'll get to the other super chats here, but with the poll that got put in 6 minutes ago, what size account do you actively trade with? Now, obviously, if you're trading with prop, right? Like a prop firm, you're trading with firm capital, so anyone that trades a prop is going to have a lot of capital. But I'm just curious as to what everyone is saying in here, because what's really cool about that poll, I'm going to throw it back up, over 50% under 5K or 5K to 25K. So that means more than half of the viewers that answered this poll are real happy about the lack of the PDT rule, the PDT rule going the way of the dodo bird.
Right.
So yeah, we're happy with you too, because we don't have to worry about it either. We've never had to worry about it in Canada. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. We've never had the PDT here in Canada. When you're a prop trader, you never have to deal with it at all. But I know we have a few more super chats. If we can, I'll try to. Oh, there's only one? I thought there was two, but throw it up there, Andre. If it's only one, I thought there was another one maybe. It's Willis Addison. What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, you cousins of Jordan Addison or whatever?
Israel's getting on my nerves, gas money. You know, there's one thing that no one's saying about oil, which is probably not going to make anybody happy. So remember what China was doing? Like China built up the largest oil reserve in the world, like dwarfing the U.S. And the U.S., obviously theirs is dwindled a little bit, and so have other countries as they've had to dip into it. So as oil prices come down, do you think that the U.S. and other countries are going to only replenish their reserves after what China did? I think they'll aim the bar higher after China went ham with the largest reserve, and they're probably going to build even bigger than before, which could put a little bit of a floor at some point, maybe sooner than we expect, on oil prices. We'll see, but I think the U.S. government's going to be a buyer, and they're also going to end up, and that'll end up, of course, supporting some of their producers as well. But I feel like that's the kind of thing that could happen. But hey, we should not be. Are we really complaining about oil going lower? We can't.
Going lower. No, I mean gas prices aren't that bad. I mean,
they're already improving.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I saw the high was like, I don't know, we had like 189 or something a liter around here. Now it's down. I saw 150. Actually, in Brampton, there I saw 142 something. The lineups were ridiculous. I was like,
don't get me started with
hell. So people, I did the math.
What people do when you're lining up.
No, I did the math. Like, I feel like there was 30 cars at least in the lineup, right? And I was just looking at it, wasn't moving at all. And then I was thinking to myself, if you're going to wait a half hour for gas, and you're going to save for us like 15 cents a liter.
Engine running.
And the engine's running too, I guess, yeah. And then you also, I didn't even think about that one. So that's 15 liters, or you guys can do it in gallons, whatever it is. But all of a sudden, if they're saving 15 cents, you have a 60-liter tank or something like that. At the end of the day, it's $8, $9, which still adds up, don't get me wrong. But you've now maybe spent a half hour, 45. If you're by yourself, fine. But you're in your car with your kids or something like that. It's like, are you going to wait that long to save $8 or $9? Some people would.
I know you know this, and I know this. 30 minutes in your evening when when most nights you got to go to practice, you got dinner, like you're old, you go to bed. I'm telling you, like there's World Cup on, there's some sports. Maybe like I want that 30 minutes. I need that time.
It does.
And you could go somewhere else that doesn't have a line. It's a couple cents extra and still be getting a good deal. We got 206 a liter in Vancouver. That's probably not worth it.
206 a liter, yeah. So right here the highest I saw was 109. Or 189, sorry, a liter. Now we're down to about $1.60 a liter, I would say. I saw this morning 159 on the way.
That ain't right.
So that's here basically in downtown
That
Toronto.
ain't right.
Well, it is right.
No, I'm just, you know what I mean, like that.
No, but I mean, whatever. That is what it is. I don't know.
It sucks.
I don't know, man. I mean,
it sucks.
It does suck, and I don't even know. We're lucky here because obviously you guys know I've got the Tesla, and it's just like we have a charger here. So I don't even know. You guys let me know, how much is it costing you guys to charge your car fully at home if you have a Tesla? Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed I plug mine in maybe for like 100 kilometers every couple weeks because again it's full here every day. But how much does that cost? Because I thought it was about 20. It still was about 25%. I was under the impression that you're still paying for. So if you're going to pay $100 to fill your tank.
Okay, now I got a question.
The EV would only cost you 25. Just hold on a second because I didn't even talk about this position yet, and then we'll ask away. But so I said that we were going to buy mid 90s. Well, that's exactly what we did. We got 95 there, and here goes Nokia ripping to the high side right there. So you never know what names we're going to trade. We did get that story about Nokia, and I showed it on the board there. Maybe Adara can confirm it, but. Okay, it's in the Benzinga platform. Nokia announces advanced testing, packaging.
Yeah, that's it. Packaging operations in Pennsylvania. It's part of a $4 billion R&D investment initiative in the U.S. That's it. I'm not seeing anything else here.
Yeah, so I actually saw that story early, and I was telling that to Neil, and then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, it's not doing anything. There's nothing going on, and I could have punched, honestly. Well, it doesn't matter how many shares, but could have punched a hell of a lot of shares basically at that level, and all of a sudden it just kind of collapsed, went the other way. It just took off. So somebody got word of that story and ripped City this thing to the top end, and we didn't chase it that much.
That's what you watch.
I did, exactly. I did chase it, and then this was a bid. Remember I said I was trying to buy this thing on the way up? It came back in, filled my bid. I was probably one of the first ones in line because I was punching all the way up. So that filled me there, and then now it's upside for Nokia. And I don't really trade this that often, but that is what that was. So what were you going to ask about the car?
No, it was just you're saying that you're deciding between a Rivian.
I'm not deciding anything. I mean, Marissa would be deciding.
Or the Tesla, but right now you only charge here. But wouldn't it make sense?
I have a charger at home, but it's just a plug-in one. It only does 100 kilometers at night.
Right, but then couldn't you just get the if you have both Teslas, wouldn't that be logistically more simple?
To what?
You get supercharger.
Oh, get a supercharger at the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it doesn't.
Or does that not matter?
I mean, how many kilometers? Yeah, we don't. It doesn't matter because we don't use that much.
No, it doesn't. You don't use it enough.
No, I mean we travel back and forth here. The Tesla has about 450 or so kilometers in it, and I'm going 11 kilometers to and from work, so I can basically not even ever really charge that. But I don't know.
I just said logistic. That's how you need a supercharger in both vehicles and use it.
Oh yeah, it'll be charged up. But right now the car's sitting at home doing nothing, so it could be plugged into the wall. Tesla, you can actually charge. I mean, this is for all of EVs. You can charge it in your normal outlet.
Yeah.
But you only get 11 kilometers an hour.
Right. It would just be a little bit better.
It's way slower. I mean, you could fully charge your car in 30 minutes in a supercharger, if not less than that. So there it is. 12. Here it is. $12 full charge at a fast charger next to free at home. So that's from you there. So has anybody else? $40 extra per month. So that's basically nothing for most people there. 50. Yeah, charge. And that's when I would do it. Would be during nighttime. So you pay a little bit less on the billing side of it, right? And you could switch over, at least here in Toronto, you could go with, an anytime rate, or you could lower it during the evening, and that's probably what I would do if that were be the case. But so we're long Nokia right here. That's my only trade other than SpaceX. We still have SpaceX on, but it's been kind of nothing. So we'll have to wait for that to finally move something. It did break lower. We have very, very small amount of shares. We got out all over here. We really should have got out when it broke VWAP. I mean, we talked about how key that is. So that was a level that probably should have been taken a little more seriously. We're going to look for some more trades, right? I mean, ARM was a great one early, and I think it can still be great. Yeah, I mean, ARM took off like crazy. That went from $400 up to $428 and tanked all the way right. This is what I mean about support and resistance levels. This came right back in, huge move up. I actually got to do better. I have a whole bunch of alerts set up right here, and they tick off, and we could check Disney, but it's really just VWAP and I think 200 period. You guys know how much I like that level. But something like this, what would you call this? It just rips up there and comes all the way back into pre-market levels. That's the buy, So it's that doesn't happen every day, but I'm sure it happens at least on one or two symbols that we watch every day, where you have a huge move up, you come right back into the open or whatever, and then it starts to take off again. So
pre-market low alert. That's all you got.
Pre-market low alert. Yeah, I guess so. But that would trigger so much.
Well, the problem
because any stock that goes down, you would get triggered.
I think you'd need something that said
more like a retracement.
Yeah, it had to have gone X amount up at the open and then retraced, which would be a little more.
I know people are saying it's called a retracement. No, I know that, but what I'm trying to get a scanner, because if I just say, hey, let me know when a stock is at the pre-market lows, well, then let's just, for example, at 9 at 9:35, it's going to be like, oh, wow, here, Tesla, boom, there it is. Like, it's always there. And then, see, here's another example right here. This is 9:30. This is just as the market opens down here. This is 9:29, 9:30. There's Tesla rips. I just called this up randomly. There's Tesla ripping to the all high heavens there, up $13, and then falls $13. Right? Like, so this is the target that I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to find out, when that happens, and then when that happens, alert me on this one. And then how about this alert right there? How about the double top alert on Tesla? So it's like downside, downside, upside, upside. Pick your poison there for Tesla, whether you're shorting or longing. It gave you double the trade opportunity there. So, yeah, but we're all looking for that information. And,
of course. And we got grit and grind. Dad, okay. I like that. Dad has to have some grit. You bet.
Elon Don?
If you're a dad, you're a grinder. Any dad's a grinder. Thoughts on Eledon, ELDN, 1212 insulin free. So I guess it's a pharmaceutical of some sort because I don't know them. I don't want to say yada, yada, yada pharma, but that's usually the case. I think for me, I'll look at the technicals because what even happens if someone like, I can speak for myself or even like one of us, like I can read a press release, and oftentimes if it's biopharm, like some people are going to understand them better than others. And I don't pretend to be a doctor. I think you just got to always understand a few things when you're dealing with these. Okay, if you're talking about a specific result or trial, is it the only thing in their pipeline? And understand that the level of risk, if it's the only thing in their pipeline, which for the smaller ones, it almost always is, it can be insane. Right? If you've got one thing in your pipeline and something goes wrong, you're losing more than half your value oftentimes, like 70, 80% drops, and it cuts both ways. And then you've also got to be careful that if the expectation was that the trial was going to go well, sometimes it doesn't do anything. And they might even sell that off. I saw that happen on a crazy spike up in Viking Therapeutics. Like it went like 80, 90% in one pre-market, and by the open, the stock was red. And that was on a positive trial because everything was tied up, and there was some expectation that it was going to be good. So you can have that happen. So look, it looks good. It's got a bull flag and all that, but I would always defer to, you can have some technicals with these, but when you've got a positive study, unless you know something fundamentally about it, you've got to be so careful and ensure that you protect those profits because I've seen so many of them absolutely rug job. I might still get back into OBAI. It's trying to hold VWAP in that $1. It just hasn't looked good coming back in at any point. Now it's bouncing VWAP. See if you can get back above the $1. Do something like it did before, like bounce here, give me a higher low to play off of, and then I can go higher low to an out like this. So that's what I'm waiting for in OBAI. This is a stock that I'm looking at this afternoon, unless I can find some other, this has done 500 million shares. So I'm sure there's other ones that are moving, but for now, this is the one I'm watching. Let me know what you guys are looking at. I see SoFi in the chat. Someone's saying Palantir is going. SoFi is strong. But when I see triple top market weak, and I'm kind of looking for, I probably want to revert this. See that triple top, break the trend, resistance at 18. Yeah, I might look for this for a short, to be honest with you, on SoFi. But it is strong today. Yeah, 5%. You can't. I'm not going to hate on the 5% up here on SoFi, but my first instinct would be to look for a reversion, given that resistance there. So OBAI is what I'm watching. Possibly this SoFi could be a little something. Alt VWAP saying they've been trading HIMS lately.
Oh, that's a name that we haven't looked at.
We haven't looked at HIMS in quite. Feels like it's been a few weeks since we've been interested in HIMS. When was the last time? It was probably back in April when it was all this volume here.
Sounds about right.
First of all, Adara is she has the greatest memory. If you're tuning in for the first time, Adara has the perfect memory. So she remembers all the key levels, all the key news stories. So yeah, if it was April and that was the last time they had big news, trust me, she's got it on. What I don't love about it today is we were just talking about volume, weren't we? Okay, so going into the same resistance and the same uptrend here into the low 30s, you've got very low relative volume. That's what I don't love. So good, looks good, but I tend to want to fade, low volume moves up. I'm always thinking the fade, not the buy. And SoFi could be giving you that. We'll see. I might actually take a shot at this SoFi, which, hey, you know what? If you're a bull in this stock right now in the afternoon, then when day traders go short, if it breaks the trend and I get in, then getting stopped out when people look for that short can help it get through that top. But for now, it's a triple top with this little upper trend break setting up.
Yeah, no, all good with that. Just we're getting ready. We are going to have a guest come through with Adair very soon on the desk, so get ready for that. Yeah, I just actually tweeted this out. Like, that would be pretty cool to find something like this on Tesla every once in a while. So just trying to look out for different opportunities to come out. This would be awesome to find. So we're going to keep on looking for things like that. All right, so Nokia, just the latest trade. We got some out here at 98s, 99s. We're only long at 95, but because it's not really a moving stock, we have a little bit more shares on this one. So, we'll keep on trying to take it out and keep leaving it. I mean, I was waiting for 06s and 07s again, like where we've had before, but I'm not sure if there's enough juice in this story to get that going. It's been a good little run for DraftKings. Wondering if we've seen its high right now. I mean, I don't know about, maybe I should hold off and say it's high. I don't know if we've seen its high yet, but here's DKNG. It's just bouncing pretty nicely off the 200 period on a daily chart. So something to look forward to there on DKNG. Watch, let the chart load up. It made its way, there it is. So it's made its way all the way to $30. And kind of, no surprise because it was like 30 even, but a little bit of a pullback right now into 28, 29. The real pullback, I think, to buy DraftKings would be around $25. So that's a good opportunity for DraftKings if you do get a turnaround. And today might be a turnaround day for Uber. Or yesterday maybe it was. Back up to $73. This is getting very interesting for me. I'm going to look at it again tonight because I don't want to just throw it out because I was kind of not upset at it, but I feel like we should have got out at 80 when it was there last time. And I sort of thought that if we did have a nice move, especially retracement back to the upside on Uber, maybe it would be worth clearing out a little bit because we just got into those lows of 69, but that also matched with here. So, the last time we got back in and we did make a high into 80 again, then we came back again, made a high basically to 80 again. So just waiting to see. The 50 period hasn't necessarily meant anything to this, so we'll see if it can hold it and get back upside. But yeah, 80 would be top. We can get anything here, 78 and change, a couple more decent days in the market, and I think that's possible. So I think there is some possibility here for Uber to get back into this area. So that's something I'm going to be looking to do over the next couple of days. We recently just bought some Eli Lilly. We bought some Iran. Eli Lilly's not really doing anything. And then Iran did have a good day, but I think it fell back below $60, or it did, but it's back up now, flat on the day for Iran. And we did get a super chat earlier today about CEG Constellation. I'm almost back to flat on this one. We bought some at 260 and then at 300, average price around 280. So that started to go a little bit here today, up 2.5%. So I don't mind CEG with a little bit of a dividend. And then, of course, we're still at $4 in the money on SpaceX. And I actually put an offer at 12s here to see if we got back up. But it looks like right now we are having a problem right in and around here. So I'm going to sort of cancel. Let's just offer in the 40s. I mean, now it looks like someone's trying to stack up a little bit here on the offer and try to, I don't know. It's not like it's not shortable. It is shortable. We have no problem paying for shorts and getting those shares. So right now I'm at 209. Too bad. I'm at 209.40s. So there it is. All right. So now we only have one piece left on this trade. I wanted to get it out. Whoops. Oh, I'm still in the ellipse. Get rid of that. I wanted to get it out because of that level. It's this 25 period, and we finally are re-seeing it. So let's take advantage of that potentially. Oh, and we got a nice little run. Oh, no, not really. We got 98s twice there. I was getting a little lesser on Nokia, but I thought it had to move up. Oh, it did. It went to 01s. Okay. Well, I'm going to put an offer now at 03 on Nokia and see if we're able to get something all the way up there. And maybe if we are, then that'd be good. And we'll clean out a little bit more of NOK on the high side. So almost out of everything there on SpaceX. Just one more trade left.
Market's breaking lows.
On Nokia. Is it? Which
the
market?
ES. Well,
oh, yeah, I guess the ES.
We're real close on the ES to breaking the lows here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it's about a time. The NASDAQ's getting pretty close. It's not a horrible down day, but I mean, the context is we just got to the highs. I don't know, that OBAI is not really doing it. I thought we found some, let us know if there's other small cappers that are running, because I just don't really see anything popping off in the scanner. And SoFi hasn't broken this trend yet. It's about to. I think at any time in the next couple of minutes, this is probably going to break down. I love the chat's undefeated. They're like, Hangry Wife was saying there in the chat about the conversation about EVs that, there's only 3 reasons why people don't get are against EVs. It's like, oh, well, they've never tried it. They have range anxiety. I forget what the first
Yeah,
one
the range
is.
anxiety is true.
And the response was, or they're like Neil and they're a penny pincher. I'm like, it's true. Oh man, I'm cheap. No, whatever. I've already said the next vehicle, and I said this a couple of years ago. Like, yeah, you know, my next vehicle purchase will be an EV. I'm just waiting a couple more years, and it's just on the timeline. But I am cheap, man. Like, it's weird. Like, I will spend money on things that other people probably would laugh at. It's like I'll spend a bunch of money on some Lego thing, or, you know, Blue Jays tickets and memorabilia, that kind of a thing. But then when it comes to other stuff, yeah, I'm definitely. But not about the EV. I'm just not there yet. It'll be a year or two as we jump into Power Hour and talk about the power of the market is not here right now. So I'm looking for a short there. There's still a chance for OBAI. It's looking a little bit better. It just can't seem to. It's trying to hold the dollar, and as I say that, it just keeps wicking that dollar level and not holding on at all. So let us know what you happen to be watching. It does seem, yeah, it does feel as if we are more sour hour than power hour here. And like, to me, that's the reason why I'm looking for if it's a long, I'm looking for like some kind of small capper that's got power behind it, or momentum behind it to the upside and a lot of volume like OBAI, or looking for a short entry like that SoFi entry, because everything about this looks pretty weak. Walter Ford, ATAI, say no more, ATAI Life Sciences, 6 mil volume. I mean, it could be better. Okay, well, what happened? First question, what happened at 2 o'clock? That's what I want to know. On ATAI, we don't know these. You never really know. Actually, I don't see anything. So maybe just a technical break at $4. I don't see a news story for this at 4, which explains the move. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. Like, you don't have to have a news story. It could just be, hey, decent short float if it has it, and technical break. What's 7% short float? That's it. 300 million float. So the float's actually not that small, and it's only 7% short, and there's no story. That one, it's not really checking all of the boxes. If there was a 30% short float, or if there was a really small float, then it would be easier to get behind a no news move. But if it doesn't have those two things and it doesn't have a news story, I hesitate to want to be joining that party on ATI. Good call out. I just get wary of the ones that don't have something a little extra behind it. I want some confluence if I can get it.
We have OBAI, I think, is going to be the leader in volume today, 460 million shares. And you can see right here with OBAI, it's at $1. So, you know, generally speaking, that's been a pretty decent area to look at these things. You're also getting held, looks like, by VWAP right here. So OBAI, definitely worth a look, I would say, moving into the close here today. And, you know, if there's any sort of a movement on it, you have protection down here at 90 cents. So maybe that will wind up holding, but who knows? Yeah, earlier on today, of course, we were triple levered short into the NASDAQ, and you know, nice move down in, now 4.2% down on this one as the NASDAQ's near, as Neil just said, near the lows. We did have that short. We didn't hold it, obviously, much. And there it goes to the downside right now for that. Nokia's still not doing anything. Let us know, man. I mean, there's IBIT. I saw you were in IBIT a little bit. That's on Blue Ocean. We don't want that one. Here's IBIT right now. Again, iShares Trust for Bitcoin, now down 1.5%, and looking like it wants to break. So IBIT right there, good little level. It does not hold VWAP. It's now looking a lot lower here. IBIT, I could get behind shorting this now. You know, some pretty key levels. I don't think we have to hold it for that far. We can hold it all the way to VWAP 3730 right there. Do we have enough? I guess, I mean, it's only 3:03. Do we have enough time left? I'm answering my own question. Yes, we do. But would rather it come up a little bit. So if we can get maybe up 4 or 5 cents on IBIT, I know it doesn't sound like that crazy, but if we can get to 37.25-ish, I think that's a decent short, holding it against 30s. So you know, trying to short IBIT in and around this area, I think would work out for a minute, you know, especially if the should in crypto also be there, which it looks like it is. So that's a decent level, I think, to start shorting, 37.25s or so. So we'll put an offer on IBIT at that level, and we'll see if we get any love there from IBIT around 37.25. We'll put a bit of shares there and see if that goes. Well, we are getting a little bit of a, I mean,
whoa, what was that?
Not that much, man. It's 5 cents right here on Nokia. I mean, again, it's a $14 name. Doesn't really move too much. We did have a little bit of a move higher there into 401. Okay, here's 401. I'm at 403. So unlike Highway 401, welcome to everybody that's here, and you never want to be on that highway if you can avoid it. This is 1401, not 401, but we'll wait. Highway 403, much better. Going from, Hamilton, Burlington, into Brampton, through Mississauga and whatnot, Highway 403. But here we go, 401 right there. 401 is actually, I think if we Google it, I don't know the road in LA, but the two busiest highways, I think, and 401 goes way across Canada, by the way, but through the GTA, it's super crazy congested and busy. So, and I think it might be second to whatever the one in LA is. But here we go. We're waiting at 403 right now, 1403, to get a real fill, and then hopefully that will come through, and we'll have a much better result on this than even we had hoped for.
405 apparently.
Oh, is it the 405? Okay.
Well, that's what the chat is saying. It's a 405 in LA.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Okay, and the 5. Yeah,
I haven't been to LA
401 is a problem here in Toronto. All right, it just looks like we just failed off of 1402. So I just got some more out there at 1401. So I'm going to wait for 1403 now to see when that comes in. So that's just one trade that I have on board. And then it looks like right here, we just have a little small piece left. I was debating looking at more SpaceX right here at 205. The stop is still in, like we have nothing left, but that stop is 204 break. So I don't know if we see enough juice in this name to really do anything with it right now. If anything, it's just on a free fall down. I mean, we had some nice moves up to 218. I mean, these were good takes, right? So we'll just leave a little bit on it. We said we're trying to hold things a little bit longer, and we did do that. So that was a good one. Oh, it looks like we do get that on Nokia, by the way. Did we get that? Because I only have one other offer out there. Oh, no, we didn't. We only got our 01s. All right, so we're still waiting for 03s, and then we'll see about that, and we'll go from there. But, yeah, so far so good here this afternoon, and maybe that short an IBIT if, patience pays, and I was hoping it was going to be up a couple pennies. You can even short IBIT now, but I'm just going to wait for that 25 period, which is at 37.25, so we'll try to follow that around again, and, no more major sporting events. I mean, we have World Cup.
What? I was going to say, like, France is playing right now.
Yeah, but... I mean, really? I think Adair just nailed it right there with the yawn. I mean, we don't have basketball. We don't have. Yeah, no. I mean, that's a great matchup. Yeah. But as far as like we're waiting for the, the group stages to end. I feel like in soccer. I mean, let's just give me some major upsets.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like you're waiting to watch your team or something to bet on. People are going to bet on.
Oh, gambling is forget about it.
Or you're waiting to watch like.
There's always something to gamble on. You can gamble on like whatever the last digits are in the Dow Jones today. Like if you go to Kalshi, you can literally gamble on anything.
Can you though?
You can probably bet on what tie Warsh is wearing.
What are the last two digits?
Just type in stock market.
The Dow.
You don't have to do that. Just go to Kalshi and type in stock market. You'll see all these different options that you can do. For these days. So anyways, as you go, I think we just talked about.
Actually, that would be cool. I mean, you probably could bet on the tie for Warsh or how long he's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, there's anything now because, the public are making these markets. And that's why I was saying about DraftKings. I do still think that there is some love for DraftKings out there. I mean, I was betting, like I said, I was betting on the UFC fights. I was betting on the Knicks Spurs. I didn't have anything on the Kane. I didn't have anything on NHL because I had that little stupid bet with Joe. I just like to gamble just for fun. I mean, we're doing enough gambling here every day. So, yeah, I do like DraftKings. I think back into here, 25-26 for DKNG, worth buying as we wait for, more legislation to come through.
So you took finance. The first thing that pops up, well, you've got today's close, obviously. Today's close.
Yeah, there we go.
One, but like,
within 100 points.
Yeah, within 100 points here. But I was looking at this one. How rich will Elon get before 2027? More than 1.6 trillion, more than 1.8 trillion.
All of those.
S&P 4 o'clock.
There. How many? What was the other one? NASDAQ 100 by close. So they don't have the Dow. They have the NASDAQ 100. You can bet that one.
I mean, who cares about the Dow?
S&P price range. There it is. So they probably do have Dow.
Yeah, I'm sure the Dow is there, but come on, man. Like, does anybody care about the Dow?
I just use that as an example.
Best
I've
AI
seen
this month?
Best
Claude.
AI this month? What do you mean best? Oh, when they run the...
But how do they judge that?
They run the benchmarks, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, if you knew something about that...
Oh, that is all Claude.
Oh, there he goes. By the way, there's Nokia. So I'll just spin the money there because we did get 03s. So that just came out. Just double checking. Yes, we did get a print there at 03s right there. So it does go up. It looks like it breaks it, goes to 04 and comes right back in. So I am now, honestly, I'm just 25% left on this. That was the big trade. So we had got some out there. We averaged it back in. We took basically we took like 5 or 6 units. Maybe, I mean, the units on this are different. So anyways, we got filled there, came back up. That was a good fill there at 04. We did another big one at 03. These are all just like, I don't want to take a loss. So we did that. But yeah, that's what we're doing right now with Nokia and waiting for it to fall back in now. And we'll be very, very patient with it. And we'll be patient with SpaceX too. Maybe a 205 bid. I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys are thinking about SpaceX here into the close. It's only up 7%. I say only, but when we started the day today in the pre-market, I mean, we were up more than this. Like we were up 211s, and then we talked about that 212 might have been a pretty key area. That fell all the way back into 198, where we were, all these purples are shorts, until eventually it was eat my shorts right there, and then that ripped to the high side. Then we flipped over into the longs, and right now we're just holding on by basically, you know, we sort of said the skin of our teeth. I don't even know. We tried to figure out where that came from. But right down into there, I think it was a Jewish term or something.
Is it really?
Yeah, we asked one of the language models there. 204 breaking, that would be that's the area right there right now. So if that breaks, then we'll get out. And it looks like it's coming back in for no reason to hold. So SpaceX probably will break it. Here it comes. And we'll be out. We're not, see, there it goes. Like we're not averaging into this at all.
Biblical.
So it is biblical, right? Yeah, so there we go. So watch out for this move in. There goes SpaceX. The volume's really, you would think it's picking up when you look at the level 2, and it is, right? And so right there, with this recent move down, there goes SpaceX. The volume is starting to pick up to the, oh, there we go. Nice. See, this is why we don't average back in, man. That was a good trade long on SpaceX. There it is. Oh, here we go. We just talked about all these different places launching all these things. Launching options products, pre-IPO stock features, thematic trading. So Coinbase is right now going to launch. Coinbase is launching pre-IPO stock features. So now all of a sudden, see, I think this is maybe a problem for Robinhood. You know, because
competition.
Yeah, it's like there's more competition now. Now all of a sudden, you know, we just talked about Robinhood Ventures coming through. Now you're going to have probably a Coinbase Ventures, something like that. I mean, look, it's great for us as consumers, right? The more choices you have, hopefully, the more competitive the price.
Competition is what it's all about. But when you own shares of something, obviously the free markets, you don't like monopolies. But you want a company that corners the market. There is no doubt about it. I own Robinhood shares. Do I want them to dominate? Of course I do. I don't want to see that from Coinbase, but it is real. Coinbase moved a little bit on that, not much, maybe up like $1 or so. But as the market comes back in, I'll tell you guys, our bond, that OBAI, nowhere near the strength on this last dollar break than it did the first. Look at the difference in volume. Like volume is basically dead on that OBAI. So it got from $1 to about $1.10. And was able to get some out at 9. And I don't know if I'm probably not going to reload this. If it loses $1, I think I just jump out. It just doesn't seem to have the juice. Like it was, when we got last time, it was increasing volume, big volumes like the breakout. This was a very low volume break that barely went. Like I said, it went that 10 cents up and is already running into resistance. So this could be done for me rather quickly. We'll take what we can.
You just talked about, cornering a market, and there's no better time to talk about this right now because BetaPro by Global X, they have the inverse market cornered, and we're going to go talk about that right now at the big desk with Ms. Sedera.
Indeed, we are. We're pleased to welcome back to the show Eric Sloan, EVP and Head of Distribution over at BetaPro. Good afternoon. Great to have you here with us. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. Doing great. Thank you very much for having me back on the show. Looking forward to it.
Indeed, let's just kick it off here with the name that everybody's talking about, including just a couple of minutes ago here with Sean and Neil, SpaceX. This had a really good first 2 days of trading, fairly solid day 3 as well. I mean, literally usurping the market caps of the likes of Amazon and Microsoft, at least at one point. So with that in mind, have you seen investors showing increased interest in space-related ETFs? We know NOS is one of those new ETFs. And also, have you seen this interest fluctuating depending on SpaceX performs as we kind of get more ups and downs for the stock in the future?
Well, it's funny. We were chatting a bit about pre-show. I mean, leading up to the IPO last week, it has been the only thing advisors and investors have been calling and emailing us about. What do you have that's going to give me exposure? When is it going to get added to a benchmark? And give me the goods on what you think this is going to look like and when you think it's going to go. And it's no secret, Global X, the parent banner behind BetaPro. We've had coverage through our Murray VC business on SpaceX for a long time and very much aware of what's going on with this broader story. Our ETF in the space, Orbex, is the ticker. It's the same in Canada and the US. We'll actually get its inclusion early. I think we're shooting for June the 26th. and it's going to be up to 20% allocation. So our advisors have been curious. I think interest in the theme has also been huge. And it's not just how do I get access to SpaceX, but it's what else is in the arena that I can trade. If I've got a client that wants a position in the parts that build the rocket, the technology that deals with the GPS, that's really where the ETF has a place to shine while you have some fun trading the tape in markets with the other desk.
Makes sense. You mentioned volatility here with SpaceX, but there's also been a lot of volatility, as we know, in the AI sector and AI-related stocks. So are you noticing, with that in mind, that investors are becoming more selective in terms of how they're allocating their capital? Are they going more to ETFs, or are they still looking at individual names?
I think both are still very important. For us, obviously, we've had a number of tickers that investors can choose from across the AI ecosystem, whether you're building the picks and shovels of AI with data centers. We have a ticker for that. We've got the actual semiconductors that you're chasing after there. Also fun to work with, and the performance on those has been great. So what I would say is investors are getting a little more picky. And they're starting to look at now, where is the growth in this segment driven by the AI banner, and starting to look more closely at what's the driver behind it versus what's maybe the laggard. And if you look at what's happened, our view, you're kind of looking at it as the consumer and industrial side of things has been a little bit slower. But if you're looking at the actual production of a chip, semiconductors themselves, the memory, things that go into actually delivering that AI scaled environment for investors to choose, is what's really been rolling, driven by sales numbers. You're seeing massive monster numbers and earnings beats from the companies that are in these ETFs. And that's also where BetaPro can have some fun. We've got a couple ways to slice that one. If you look at just your pure play NASDAQ mandates, you've obviously got the Qs. If you want to keep the trading wheels on, 2 times is there, but we've got triples on NASDAQ also. Semiconductors are also there. Stoxel has been a pretty interesting one to watch, and we did go through a consolidation and split on those to kind of keep the performance rolling, keep the spreads tight.
So with AI, you also have these data center related plays, and that's where uranium is going to come in. There's a couple different reasons, of course, that uranium could be in play right now. So how do you see uranium and related stocks and ETFs coming into focus right now?
Well, this one's also a lot of fun, and I kind of look at it from a total portfolio view. You've got the uranium side of things, and obviously we're supply constrained on that part of power supply for data centers right now. Data centers, AI, hyperscalers, all driving the need for energy. Now, the second part of that, oil and gas, obviously in huge demand while we wait for uranium and ultimately the nuclear production facilities to come online. So you've got ways to play. For oil and gas, we've got the old existing HNU, H&D funds in Canada on BetaPro. If you want to go to NatGas, those are there. If you're looking for something a little more benchmark oriented, these are 2 ones you may not have seen. NNRG and NRGU are the 2 that you can play on the S&P TSX capped energy benchmark. And that can also be an interesting way just to take a look, play around with a few more names rather than going after a single ticker.
Let's talk tokenization, just to kind of totally switch tracks a bit here. Do you see tokenization as the next major financial infrastructure theme, and can you provide us with some of your thoughts on
this one's big, and it's finally catching up, I think, to its moment. You're seeing some of these pilots in the US on tokenization right now. For Global X, we've got a global task force oriented around how is tokenization going to change all of our worlds. And I think the big benefit everyone's chasing, real-time clearing, our ability to get money and shares in and out of the system really fast. So it'll be interesting to see how these pilots play out. We did launch an ETF since the last time we were here, focused on the arena. TOKN is the ticker, but it's a whole ecosystem play, right? You got to go after the stablecoin providers, you got to go after infrastructure, payment rails, all the parts that kind of make this plumbing work. And for us as an ETF issuer, it just means we get to come up with other ways of launching product that we can bring it out to you as an investor sooner than we'd like.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. And before we let you go, Eric, do you have any thoughts or closing ideas that you want to leave the people with in terms of sectors, themes, ETFs, et cetera?
I love it. Well, the other spot, and Sean, actually, when we were here last time, we were chatting about my favorite parking lot trade, which is cash. We made a bit of an innovation on that theme. We're now doing what we call accumulating units on all of our cash and treasury instruments, which basically just means the chart's going to go bottom left, top right. If you don't want the dividend, it's there for you to just accumulate, keep it simple in your portfolio, show some green maybe while you're trading in some of these markets.
Very neat. Thanks again for being here with us today. Eric Sloan, EVP, Head of Distribution over at BetaPro. Great to have you back with us today, Eric.
Thanks for having me.
There you go. Thank you so much,
Always great to
Eric.
have
I like how you said if you want to take the training wheels off, you can go from double levered to triple levered. You know, like that's the thing. Like the training wheels are on the double levered, so we're just learning to crawl when we trade single stocks. But yeah, thanks for that. And I think that that's an interesting thing because as we sit here and look to trade, you know, if there's a thematic sort of situation, there's nothing wrong with grabbing that extra exposure there, right? Like if you think your aim's gonna run for a couple weeks now, go over there, grab some of those ETFs, and especially if you're trading here in Toronto, you know, don't pay that currency hedge, right?
And if you don't know which name to trade, like sometimes, look, sometimes you know the theme, you can read the headlines, you like what you're hearing, you like what you're seeing in some charts, but you're like, well, what stock am I gonna get into? And I think that's where it comes into play. I wanna thank Eric for coming on. As always, the market, hey, we're getting a bit of a turn. First things first in the market. By the way, that I did get into that trend break on SoFi, but the market is catching, I don't want to say it's bottoming, but this is what the 15-minute candle's looking like that'll close in 10 minutes. It's a bottom wick. If we end up closing, this is the NASDAQ, not the ES. So, I mean, the ES is going to be similar, almost the same thing. So if it closes above 30,100, then you'd have a kind of a bottoming tail wick. We still have 10 minutes for that 15-minute candle, but it is potentially looking like a reversal candle. I wouldn't put it there just yet. But if you're in shorts, or maybe you're looking for longs, like there's some buying that's coming in here late in the day. And remember, profit taking today would be buying because it's been a short day. For most of the day. So I'm out of 2/3 all the way into VWAP here because that's first support. But it'll either break down and give me VWAP, but I don't want this getting all the way back up to the top. I'll probably stop it out, maybe this bar here, just about break even, like not even give it past that because the market is catching. Now it's looking a little more convincing that the market's catching a bit of a bid. Maybe not SpaceX, but like SpaceX could break 200 here. Like what's strong? What's the market? What's getting bought up here? Apple was already strong. It's not doing anything. Nvidia's off the low. That's something at least. But you are getting that reversal candle on the Qs for what it's worth. Maybe it's Tesla. I just saw Rodney Owens in the chat. Tesla with a bunch of exclamation marks. That's breaking VWAP and picking up in volume. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna get another leg out of SoFi. And then if we get VWAP, we get VWAP. Market seems like it wants to bounce here.
Yeah, I was going to say that I'll short the TQs if we get 81.50 right there, but we're going to wait for that to come back upside. So I don't really, shout out to everyone in the chat that was saying like, you know, maybe get into the TQs, but I'm going to wait on that one. And then I did want to say, earlier on today, right off the open, you know, sorry to upset everybody about Micron, but like I was saying at the open with Micron a week away from earnings with some of this uncertainty in the market, you know, I liked the idea of selling some Micron and getting out. And I just said 20%. Like I said, everybody pick your own poison there, but I thought 20% was reasonable to think about a position on Micron to get something out and then potentially rebuy it later if this was to happen, because I actually use the example of Broadcom, right? Where if you look at the Broadcom chart, and I know they're different, but same space, but you know, completely different business. You know, this is what Broadcom looked like, sort of was baselining and then had to move into the earnings and then whap all the way down, right? Like 500 down to 380. That's pretty nasty. That's losing 120. That's down 25% now on Broadcom, right? And now I think Micron has a little bit better of a situation than Broadcom just because we'd also seen NVIDIA fall down off their earnings report and vice versa. But here's kind of Micron, and I know it doesn't have, look, we still need another week, right? But that looked like there could have been a potential bottom there at 900. Then we made a move to this morning where we at the all-time high and even looking to break out again. So not a horrible spot with now being 4 days away from the report is next Wednesday, so 5 trading days away. You know, that this could retrace back in. So you get a little bit out there, and then if it does retrace back and you still like it before earnings, maybe you get some out at 1100 and buy it back at 900 and then ride from there. But now you're down a little bit, and hey, this could be back tomorrow. There's absolutely no doubt about that. All right, SpaceX, man, I mean, good trade today for sure. Bouncing off 200, that was an area that we wanted to look at long in the first place. And as you can see, if we sort of zoom this back out a bit and just open up the chart, That's 200 right there. We didn't spend very much time at all underneath the level that we're at right here, right now. I'm going to try to short 204 into 205. So if that happens, up to 206 will be our stop. I kind of, now that we're downside, I don't mind thinking about a short using our 50-period moving average. We hadn't seen that since 230, where the price was 213. So we fell down $13. So retracement back up into the 50-period moving average looks good to me, and that's something that I'll roll with. And until then, man, maybe we do get that 200 break. And what about if we break 200? I mean, the last time we did that, we were actually part of that trade right here when it broke. That's actually a 200. That's actually a 200 break right there. We got it at the 50 period, never really went against us at that level, and then all the way down in that flush, and that's where we were sort of ringing the register. Then we popped back up to VWAP, flushed again, rang more registers, then upside, boom, rang it again, then got rung. So yeah, a couple, good emoji there. As SoFi is working to the short side, that OBAI, we'll have to take a look at that one. But for right now, we can go back over to the desk and see what Adair is up to, and then we're going to watch out for SpaceX. If it does come into 205, I'll be there for it.
Just be aware here, guys. Comments here as Iran pushes higher. Coming from Iran's Qatam al-Anbiya headquarters, they're accusing Israel of no less than 84 ceasefire violations in Lebanon over the past 2 days. They're saying that this is occurring despite President Trump's announcement that the war is over. Iran also warning that they'll respond, quote, forcefully if violations continue. So Iran saying that they believe Israel has violated the ceasefire, specifically in Lebanon, 84 times over the last 2 days. Iran's prepared to respond if this continues. Back to you.
Thank you.
There's always good stories from the World Cup. There's 8 players that are 40 years old or older.
It's crazy.
8 players in the World Cup.
Like the 40-year-old goalie, wow. Like he had like 50,000 Instagram followers.
Oh, went to 5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did see that. That's how I saw it.
Just for him. Like that's the kind of stuff I love.
How does it get ramped up that much? That is crazy.
People just get involved in the action. It was cool seeing Lukaku come out of the depths of nowhere to force the action for Belgium. Although I know Sharif wasn't happy with that, of course. You know what? Like I said before, probably not a reload on OBAI. Volume just continues to dwindle. If it resists 110 again, somebody's selling it at $1.10. If it resists 110, then maybe this is all it wants to give us. And I'll just get on the offer. Try and take those 9s if we can get them. And if it breaks the dollar, I'm just going to get out of that one. You are, like you said, you're getting this bounce back in the market. So as far as I'm concerned, if it's not, like the small capper doesn't care what the market's doing. It'd be nice if it did, but it doesn't. Let's be real. You're not trading a small capper because the Qs are going up or down or left, right, or center. But SoFi is stalling out. Like that breakdown, it's stalling out. Probably close to time to trailing it a little bit higher, which would be maybe 86, 87. I'm not there yet. I'll give it some room. It's still the break-even stop, at least for now. But let us know what else you guys are trading. I did see in the chat earlier, and we did our lesson, and then we came back, we're having a discussion, and then I think there was some discussion about Palantir being strong in the afternoon, and we did miss it. In context, yes, it is strong this afternoon relative to the market, but if you look at Palantir, it's still a really long consolidation. 125 to 160. 125 to 160. Like the 30s can be long. You get 30s into the tops, but it won't break the 200-period moving average. So it's like one of those, where the support has been in the stock for quite some time, and you're just playing the range until it says something otherwise. And yeah, it's a little bit of a bounce today, but you want to see continuation, right? Like there's your bounce off the lows. Continuation is breaking these highs, like breaking 135, breaking, 138. Because you've reestablished the 125 bottom. Doing something with it for me would be like a tomorrow, maybe like a 130, 135 half or 136 break. Then you look at like a 137 break. Because anything that's in the IGV is still getting beaten up. I saw some saying Microsoft looking like value. I think that could be a bit
Microsoft.
of a. I have nothing against Microsoft too. I just know, and someone else had asked about IBM, and my response is I loved IBM 2 years ago. I think this is the safest way to play quantum, with the exception of Alphabet, obviously. But I think you might get a little bit more juice at IBM. You get to play quantum with a dividend. So I'm a dip buyer on this year. I want to have more of this stock. And it's shown you a good bottom at 220. It already bounced once, the 200 period moving average. I don't know if I'd buy the 50 on the way back in, but this has been I think that's a good safe way to play quantum, relatively speaking. I mean, there's no such thing as a free lunch or anything. Like safe it's all relative to Rigetti.
Like
QBTX.
Yeah, well, there's no.
Right?
IBM has other businesses.
Right. There's a there, but you also get some upside.
We do have to go to the desk, but just quickly, I'm into SpaceX at 04s. So we talked about getting into this. So I'm going to take a little bit out for 50 cents, a little bit out for $1, because our stop is going to be up there at 06. So, we got to take something out, get some profit in if we can. But here we go. It's the Asian market update with Adara and One at the big desk.
Back here with One SBR every day at 3:30 p.m. and 11:30 a.m. And here at 3:30 p.m., we're going to talk about, as Sean alluded to, the Asian markets. What was it like last night, and what's on tap for tonight?
Thank you, Adara. So Asian markets saw some sector rotations and record milestones being achieved overnight. Here's a little bit of a recap on what to look out for at the open later. So the Nikkei 225, they pierced 70,000, which is a huge intraday milestone. And they also closed at a record high, which is great to see. That was mainly supported by metal stocks and also a dovish Bank of Japan rate hike. So something that, of course, affected the markets. And as we can see here, the Kospi in South Korea also up by 2.11%, mainly on semiconductor demand. However, the Hang Seng was down by 1.4%, and that's mainly because of the Strait of Hormuz potentially reopening, and that's having a huge effect on shipping rates as well as related equities coming to a collapse. But what can we expect at the open later? Keep an eye out on Japan markets, of course, the Japanese futures, the Nikkei, see if it's going to retest the 70,000 support. Also, post Bank of Japan rate hike, how's that going to be focused on domestic capital, of course, going into a weakening yen as well. And also in Korea, the $1 baseline. Keep an eye out on that, especially that exchange, because we can see that there's continued appreciation, and that could signal some further foreign inflows into the Kospi.
Lots to look at for tonight. That, once again, here was One every day with us at 3:30 p.m. and 11:30 a.m. to talk to Asian and European markets, respectively. Thanks, One.
We saw the EWY there, the Korean name. I mean, going with Samsung and SK Hynix and all that. So, lots of opportunities to trade in there. And we also do have ADRs and all that stuff.
Well, I think they're going to SK Hynix specifically.
They're trying to.
They're trying to come to the U.S. markets. I think that'll be huge when they do.
Yep. All right, so opportunity to get out of SpaceX came a couple times there, back down into. We're short at 204. And it's come back in a couple times right down into here, into 50s, and I didn't cover it. I do think that we could get lower. I covered some of them right there at 50, but now we've come back in 3 or 4 times since then. Or I guess this will now be the 4th time if it does come back again. And, just want to see if we do hold. I mean, that's 203, but we are sloping down now on the 25 period. So I'm ultimately trying to hold it up against here. That would be 206 break. It'd be a shame if it breaks 206 and then just crashes right back in. But if it does do that, we could be on our way back upside anyways. So we're going to watch out, see if we can be a little careful with that play on SpaceX. Again, like the play, waiting for a little bit more juice on it, to get going. So that's what we'll do right now with SpaceX. See if we can give it a minute.
And drone attack hits Iranian opposition camp.
It's also that talk about drones. I know that you like that AVAV. I still like AVAV. I know it hasn't performed that well. That's the new thing. I know. But this drones are the new thing right now. Drone attack, what is it, Cam?
They are the new thing.
Okay, so that's probably
east of.
I don't want to say it's Israeli drones or anything like that, but I mean that might be what it is, and that's definitely not a good sign. USO may or USO may or may not be moving. Yeah, so there's USO by the way. Yeah, it's big time. There's the chart right now of USO, and yeah, it looks a little more dramatic when I zoom in, but that's a nice move, right? From 113 bottom up to 116. I mean, that's just a real good look there for USO.
RK Monk. OBAI feels like a 2 to 3 day play. Buying seems to be relaxed and steady, but also feels like shorts already trapped. Thoughts? Thank you. So what I would tell you is when I started out as a penny stock trader, and one of the things that would be like the patented move is penny stock to dollar. Like what happens at the dollar? You'll probably see like almost it might be 80 to 90% of the time you see me trade a penny stock or one of these stocks. What's the one price I'm just looking for a trade off of? The $1 one direction of it, like $1 trade, $1 trade. And so anytime one of these, and this is not a very good looking chart, I don't think anyone expects it to be, like this is day one. If it can hold the $1 level, remember you're trying to close multiple days above a buck. That's important. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see happen. So it could be. The volume is dwindling. That's why I got out at the 109 again. But it absolutely could be. It's a kind of thing where these small cappers, you look for a couple of days out of them. Maybe you get it, maybe you don't. You don't look for a week or 2 weeks out of it. Sometimes you're just looking for a couple of days. And I think the $1 level is pretty key. It's interacting pretty well with it, but I'm pessimistic for the rest of this afternoon because the volume is dying. That's why I just hopped out that last trade when it keeps on rejecting that 110. You gotta have targets for small cappers, man. You can just find yourself hoping too much that this one's gonna go 5x. Sometimes it goes from $1 to $5. Most of the time, you get a day or two and you get what you get, and you better have taken it out. You learn that lesson the hard way.
Man, I
if
can't
you try to get greedy.
I can't be tired already, man. We got that concert tonight. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So
Post Malone, son.
Yeah, Post Malone, something like that, with Jelly Roll. So whatever. But here we go, man. We are ready to go right now on this market. That's for sure. As we start to look, there goes SpaceX. Money. Bang, guys. I mean, look, I put out a post about how SpaceX has just been pretty crazy to trade. And, you know, we just had like an 18 or whatever this was, up to 218, sorry, from 204. That was 14 bucks to the high side. And right now you're sitting in this with me again. I mean, we just talked about shorting this all the way back in. So shorty, we got it right now as that's starting to make a move right here. Thank you for buying a concert shirt for me tonight, I guess, or for Marissa, as we come back in right now on SpaceX. So there's the short at 205. There's the covers at 201 and change. We still have half of this position on, so it still could blow up in my face, that's for sure. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening now with SPCX, as it's nothing but downside, baby, right now, and we're happy to do that. We are at $200.50, so if that can print out, that's great, but maybe that's just a... I'm going to take one more piece here. Okay, well, we just bid it and get out immediately. Now we'll wait to see if we can get that $200.50, and then we'll go from there. Maybe it holds 200, maybe it doesn't. Either way, we're here, man. And, you know, thank you for being here with us every single day on Trader TV Live. There it is, man. We're here. Look, I'm staring at this stock right in the barrel every single day. So I just want to say, you know, keep on coming back. I'm not here tomorrow, though, but come back with Joe, and he'll be here trading this. I'm sure Neil will as well. But I just put this out on Twitter. Joe's right here right now. I was just like, grateful doesn't even begin to cover it, man. SpaceX over the last 3 days has been a great experience. Honestly, it feels like we practically made our year. We talked about that, just navigating this momentum. And then we did it, and then we put this out in the middle of the day, and then since then we put this one on. You know, trying to stay grounded, and that's why we talk like this, is because the market, and Neil actually mentions this, and this is one of the, you know, many things that Neil says, astute things, and that is that, you know, you have to make sure that you're always risk appropriate, right? I mean, I could put on 1,000 shares right now of SpaceX. This thing drops $5 and there goes $5,000, and all of a sudden now that is starting to, you know, piece into, you know, whatever profits you've made up until this point, and all of a sudden, you know, a winning trade can turn out to be a losing trade quite quickly, and then that momentum's gone. And if you make a keystroke, that's one thing. You know, you can quickly get in and out if you feel like you're using the wrong.
The good thing about SpaceX, though, and
I'm getting more out of
making this a little bit unique. SpaceX might not be the regular IPO because most IPOs, day one, massive volume. Day two, kind of okay to trade. Day three, meh. By day four, Cerebras is a stock that almost no one wants to touch because the spread's too big, there's no volume. SpaceX is gigantic and actually has enough volume to hold up. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, is this
so much interest?
Is that a new poll? Okay, so this is a new poll. Okay, so
you guys got to let us know over here.
Yeah, you got to let us know we're doing a poll. I didn't know we're doing a poll. Okay, so everybody in the chat, first of all, if you're not in the chat, jump in the chat. Well, but come on, like, Sean's literally short. You have to vote for under.
No, don't vote for anything.
No, anyway, so if you're not in the chat, jump in the chat. Subs only chat, so make sure you hop in here and vote by typing 1, 2, or 3. Will SpaceX close above 200? 1. At 200, I mean, probably not. No one's voting that. If it closes exactly 200.
There it is. Bang.
It's breaking 200 right now. 200. Or below, which would be number 3, which I'm sure is going to win. 50-50. There's no chance that's 50-50, everybody. Come on. And the only reason I have AMC up is because someone else typed it. But SpaceX just had I didn't see what was on the bid there because I was looking at the poll thing. But
It basically,
I saw a huge number.
Yeah.
And
No, I think it did break, but it came right back. Like it was just one of those things where, because I got filled at $200 flat, or was it $200 flat? Yeah. So
huge.
Obviously we got filled there. I mean, it does come back in. Let's wait to see what winds up happening right now with SPCX. But is it through? So I don't know if it's.
Okay, my.
There it goes. Now it's through. Nope. Now it's nope. Now nope. But we're just playing around. But anyways, yeah, there you guys can clearly see it's going to break, man. If someone holds this, fine by me. We're actually out of a decent mark. This is now $1, $2, $3, $4 now in the money. And like I was just saying, man, very grateful to be able to sit here. There it is. Look, so you just have to look up here.
It is breaking.
You just have to look here. This is the real level one. So as you look up here, I just saw 196.90. But remember what SpaceX did to us on its IPO, where it broke 150 for like 5 seconds. Triggered us both out, and then ripped like $30 or $25
done it like 5
up to 175. So watch, here it is. This is what you're looking at right here. This is your level one. This is a level one up here, bid ask. So you're gonna wait to see that level. I think I just saw it break again.
That's like,
and then it's breaking, and then Elon's coming in and saying no to that and buying more back up. So if you thought that you were getting, okay, come on, one more time. I might, you know what? Instead of just showing you guys all this, I'm going to put another bid. There we go. I just took a bid there at 30s. So we put another bid out. We took it. So if it bounces now, I only have about 25% left, which is still decent. We'll see if we can make back some cash here that we gave up holding that move on the way down. But we went into the short again. I'm thinking about stopping. We got to change some of our orders now because we actually wind up doing okay on all of this now. So we actually did more than okay. Whoa. There's huge size there on that bid.
That's 2 million?
I don't know what that was.
Is that 2 million
It might have even been more. I'm going to punch out a little bit here. Are you entertained, everybody, as we go?
I saw 2.5 million.
I saw a shit ton. There it is right there. There's a whole, you're never going to see.
Is that 25 or 2.
I don't know, Neil. I don't know what that is.
Biggest.
You're never, someone's sitting there in the lit market with this there. Sharif, man, cancel your orders, man. You put too many O's in there, Sharif. It's gone. And someone, I don't know if that just happened.
Did that fill? No way.
It's back. It must have filled. I think that filled. It's gone now. I would say that probably filled in one swoop there. Someone just took 3 million shares out on SpaceX. Almost 100%. Do you see it on the time and sales? Yeah, Joe sees it on the time and sales. So you can scroll down here and try to find it. Good luck doing that right now. But that's not there right now. This is a stuck order. That's not really there because the level one is right there. So that unless
that's at 50s.
Unless he came back. No, but it broke through him though. 51s. Well, then he came back because
that might be real.
Okay.
That might be real.
I punched out of a little bit. Wow, that's exciting news there.
Is that real?
I don't know if he's lifting it or not, man. I feel like the NASDAQ might be having a little bit of quote problems right there. But yeah, welcome to the jungle, guys. I mean, that was... Why are you guys telling Joe to ban you? I did see someone say that there was Popo Joe. Joe sent me something.
Oh, bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye. There it is right there. Get in the gates of hell. And it comes right back up. But here we go, man.
No,
SpaceX.
It's
yeah, 198.50. Let's go, man. That's $6 now in the money. You thought day one was hyped up. We're getting hyped up again right now. We are at the highest spot we've been at all day right now. It is now $5 plus in the money. Look at that fill we just took out there, 198.50. We were sitting there. We say thank you very much as we fire off the hot dog cannon. And there it goes again, another big trade on SpaceX, and we did it again, man. Ooh. So, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not taking tomorrow off after all. This is a big move to the downside right now, 198 and change. There goes SpaceX, man. We got it. We got it good. One more time. There goes SpaceX.
Oh, my God. I thought that was a real order. I almost punched long. That wasn't real. It was already gone when we were seeing it the second time.
I was trying to say that, but...
No, but like I kept seeing it, and Joe's like, it's there. I actually had a bid at some point.
Popo Joe said that?
Why are we calling Joe Popo Joe?
Because he bans people. I'm on the bid right there. Yes, sir. Kablamo right there, man. You are now 660 in the money. And like I said,
say no to the Popo.
Yeah, say no, that's for sure. We can say this right here. We just said this right here. We've basically, forget about that. It's the momentum is what we're talking about. Forget about what we've made. But there it goes, man. We played that momentum. We saw the momentum was to the downside. There goes SpaceX. At what point it was up 17% or something today, up to 225. And there it goes, right back into 195 right now goes SpaceX, man. And oh boy, are we doing it one more time. time. Joe, Neil, whoever, we're having a lot of fun as we continue to go downside right now. 197 and change. Your boys got it. It's now $7 in the money. We props it up to everybody that's here with us today. Thank you so much. We're doing it live, and we do it live every single day. So there we go, man. Joe's going to time me out. Good luck with that one. As we continue to go on the downside right now. Down, 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 down as we go, man. What a good afternoon this has been. I hope you guys enjoy the excitement.
Kadeem Rashad just said not the gates of hell?
Well, I mean, you tell me, man. It's $7 in the money.
I'll call it gates of hell. Temporary top. But I'll tell you right now, that probably saved. I had visions of Facebook, and I thought that was real, and I almost punched in front of that thing and would have got rinsed.
I think it was real, but just got filled.
but the next order.
Yeah.
So what you were seeing was a lagging quote that it had been filled, but you're seeing like residual, like kind of a residual quote, like a ghost in the market. That if you bought in front of it, it was already at 98, and it still looked like it was there. So about everybody that voted on the poll for higher, above.
It's still going to go above. Above where?
No, 200.
200? It'll get above 200.
Technically it says close. The poll did say close.
Yeah.
If it closes under 200, everyone that's been waiting for the stink bid, I don't know, that's going to look like one heck of a topping tail candle today on SpaceX. And I would watch out. I know we like some. I know you like some of these other names. I'd watch out for Rocket Lab. I'd watch out for Sidhu. I'd watch out for ASTS, Lunar, NASA, you name it. Like they all already look weak. If this shoe drops, the other ones, I don't know. Like I can't do anything. I suppose the gates of hell is like the worst emoji I can button that I can hit. Like there's nothing worse than that one. I could hit the flush one. I could do the flat bottom break one. I could do the arrows down. But we already used the gates of hell. Red Wire would be an example. There's nothing wrong with these companies. I just feel like if we lose the 200 and then this is a temporary high that got made, then some of these other names could really, like this one's on the cusp at 50 period. They could really lose a bit. Watch out Rocket Lab 100 for sure. We have another super chat up there. Is it 346 already? Oh goodness. Yeah, this is still buying here. I'm gonna get it. 3 minutes until the imbalances. Usually I would have looked at the early look by now, but we got distracted by SpaceX, which is fair. Oscar Gracias. Oscar. SoFi getting loaded. Thanks, guys. Son los mejores. I have no idea if I said that right. Probably terrible. Greetings from Gastonia.
I think that was pretty good.
No, I probably was terrible. Aaron's learning Spanish in Duolingo now. My daughter is learning Spanish in Duolingo because you can do everything. Whatever. You're not going to need to learn language. She just enjoys it. Yeah, I agree with you on SpaceX. That's all. The bottom 15, hold, back above the 50-period moving average. I would tell you the same thing, and I would say this, and I am saying the same thing about Hood when it made its bottom. And it just seems like SoFi is doing like that. Like here on Robinhood, and I keep hitting the key like the circle is working, but it's not. To highlight there. What Robinhood did a week ago, it looks like SoFi is doing now. Like it's now putting in that higher low to try to get going. So I'm with you on that. 4%, up and down market. That's one thing that you want to see. If you can be up in a down market, that's a great start. But I just exited the trade in SoFi because again, like I said, it's relatively strong and it's in bounce time. With 3 minutes to go, there's a few things on here. That penny stock, who cares? Hey, we're just talking about Redwire. 2.2 million sell. NCLH, 2.3 million sell. CNQ, meh. Lumen, 1.8 million to the sell side. All sells. CRM's a buy. 1.1 million to the buy side for CRM. And none of these are NASDAQ. These are all New York names. All of the big ones are going to be in about 2 minutes. And then we'll get the real imbalances.
This is going to be $10 at the end of this. All right, man, we're at 195 right now. We just touched down to 195. So, yeah, man, I mean, what's been a good day is about to get, well, it has gotten a lot better. So, again, you know, we do have our Spanish channel up, by the way. You guys go check that out if you want to. Type in TTV Spanish, then you'll hear
instead of me trying to say it.
You'll hear, yeah, instead of Neil trying, you'll actually hear some Spanish going on there. I'm going to take another fill here. Well, all right, let's do it. I don't necessarily love taking these fills, but we'll take another one right there. I do have another bid. Oh, no, actually, I don't. I'm going to cancel my I bid, cancel my Qs. Forget about this, man. We found the next trade, and it's right in front of us. So we wanted to go short on I bid. We wanted to go short on the Qs, but instead we just went right back to what we've been doing the last 3 days, and that's trading SpaceX and trading it. I hope you guys would agree, we've been trading this quite well there on SPCX. So again, just to review what we did today, we started the day short, and it was good until it wasn't. It broke that 215. Then we went long, which was fantastic, and we made more money on the long than we did actually on the short right there. And then this came in, and this is actually going to be our biggest position, our biggest trade was off this short there, because we had the 50 period, right? And it was only going to be a $2 worth of a loss. So we actually probably had more shares in this situation, but the short just kept on getting going, and we were taking like small hits or just getting out for a little bit. But this has really collapsed, right? And it was really good that that was starting to happen, because we got better at what we were trying to do. And I said this earlier today as well, that we were trying to hold shares a little bit longer and not just like scalp out like crazy. So we actually wound up doing that, and we held for 200. So that was pretty cool, like to have a $2 stop and to make 4. So we got out the majority there. And then as we always say, the rest is history, and then there's the downside push, as we now have just seconds away from those imbalances. And the imbalances could turn everything upside down, and this thing starts to rip up. But we only have about 15% left or so of this position. So we'll wait. I'm waiting down there at 95. So if that comes in, then you'll see 95.50, and then we'll work on it from there. So 95.50, my next bid. What's up, Adara?
Wait, the imbalances. A quick update here on Lionsgate and Netflix. LION pushing higher. We know earlier today we heard reports that Netflix was considering acquiring the company. They were in talks. Now, earlier today, Semaphore reported that Netflix denied earlier reports suggesting they were in talks with Roku before Fox made a bid for Roku. However, according to the latest reports from Semaphore, Netflix has not denied that they're in talks with Lionsgate. So LION pushing up a bit higher. Back to you.
On there.
All right, we just got 195. So the dream is real, man. That's a $10 face slapper right there at the end of the day. So that was a good one. This is what we're seeing right now. There's a bunch of buys, but it's NVIDIA with a buy there. I don't know. I don't see SpaceX on here. Netflix. Oh,
it's a 400.
Yeah.
It's a sell.
It's a sell. Okay.
I have SpaceX on this.
Marvell's a sell.
It's 400,000 to sell on SpaceX.
Marvell.
Someone asked me about SMCI. SMCI is about $1 million to the sell side. So sells on SpaceX, if you're, which is a request. Ignore that's one of the top. That's a test stock. Please do not try to trade it. You'll just muck yourself up. Redwire ended up being nothing. But the big ones are Intel and NVIDIA, $3 million to the buy side for both of those. And then RKT. That's interesting. 2.5 million, that's 10% of the volume. That's going to be a buy as well. But Intel, look, Intel almost always flips or pairs off. Almost always. So 355, it's a buy imbalance and heading down. You're supposed to go up and then you could revert it. You can't revert at 355 if it's already going down on the buy imbalance. So that might be a nothing burger on Intel. That's the trade I like, the 355, if you can, for sure. But yeah, the market's bleeding today. It's not looking remotely good. 7.5% down for Intel. If you weren't concerned about this triple top earlier, you better be now on Intel. If I said this morning, like if I hadn't already sold a couple of times too early, I'd probably be selling today in front of 25. I'd be trimming. This one feels like it could be in for a bit of a turn here. Did SpaceX just give us a top? That's the question.
Yes.
That's the question we'll be asking tomorrow, because I think that's going to matter. Nothing against Warsh. I think it's going to matter more than the Fed.
Yeah, Fed is irrelevant tomorrow.
Because they're not going to do anything.
No. Yeah, the market won't move off it, but it'll move off the Q&A, I feel.
Well, the Q&A will be important because, as we said, it's a changing of the guard, but they're not going to do anything. So someone just asked about an imbalance in SoFi. If there's a name that you're interested in that isn't on the locator, it's not that hard to check. SoFi, I don't even see an imbalance on SoFi. Not every name has an imbalance. No. That's the first thing. What is it? It's like 300,000 shares to sell on SoFi if you're interested. So, I don't know. Like from where I got it, it went 2 cents lower. SoFi is pretty strong. It's holding up even despite the sell imbalance, despite the market going down. Adara.
Yeah, Oracle's been volatile pretty much all day, guys, but ORCL spiking into the close here to the downside after the Business Insider reports that Microsoft walked away from a $3 billion deal to lease Oracle Cloud capacity due to some concerns about security. So, again, Business Insider reporting that Microsoft walked away from a $3 billion deal to lease Oracle Cloud capacity because they had some security concerns. ORCL to the downside, hanging out near lows. I'm also seeing a little bit more here on this story as we're just talking. Apparently the plan was initially to move some Microsoft workloads to Oracle Cloud infrastructure, but because Oracle's public cloud lacked FedRAMP certification for handling government data and they weren't willing to add it, there were some concerns. Apparently, Oracle's already called the report inaccurate, but either way here, some security issues here with ORCL, again, according to this Business Insider report. Back to you.
This is like that dude remember the dude in The Simpsons who's like, stop kicking him, he's already dead.
Isn't that...
that was The Simpsons, wasn't it?
Is that the guy that picks his nose? What's his name?
Wiggum?
Wiggum.
Ralph Wiggum?
Ralph Wiggum.
Have you seen the thing about Ralph Wiggum's not really Chief Wiggum's kid? It's the other, the two dudes, the two other cops, the one with the long
It doesn't look exactly like the chief?
No, it doesn't. He looks, the two other cops, is like, is the brother, and then there's the other guy with the long head.
I'd have to think about that.
His hair is just like that other guy. One of the other ones, I'm just saying. But no, but it's that's Oracle's problem. Oracle doesn't need more bad news. They're already having to borrow money.
Look at Marvell. Marvell down huge today, down from 318 down to 284, down 8% Marvell.
But that's like highs.
There's no, it's nothing to worry about when you zoom it out. But some of these names, Marvell, Oracle and Microsoft also getting hit on this exact same story there as well. So 393, I just saw Microsoft. It's not huge, but it was 394 down to 393. Okay, here we go. Interesting talk here. Can we do a special with Netflix? It says cheese in a chair there. If we did a special with Netflix, I mean, maybe that would rocket the stock. I think you might be right about that one. And then you could get your 30K out. Yeah, they need to pay us a little more than 30K to do that, but we'll wait to see what winds up happening there. If you guys know anybody at Netflix, give them my number. We'll be able to definitely figure that out, and we'll get organized right there with Netflix. I mean, I think it'd be pretty exciting to watch some of the trading on SpaceX, especially over the last couple of days. Wow, SpaceX just went to one. This is getting very, very violent. That's for sure.
It flipped to a buy just now. 500,000 flipped to the buy side at 55.
I just took a couple out.
Nvidia's a sell of 1.5 million now, so that flipped. Redwire is 1.5 million. So FXI is in there, 1.4 million. That could have been something. EWY is a buy. Oh goodness, we haven't seen that there before. That could have been something. Nope. Getting crushed. 3% down today. Yuck, yuck, and more yuck. They are absolutely bleeding a lot of names. Netflix is a sell. 900,000 sell on. We were just talking about Netflix, down 3.5%. That's right. There was that deal speculation for them, and they don't like it.
They're trying to buy Lionsgate.
Yeah, it was at Lionsgate. Yeah, that's why they're down 3 points today. Because usually Netflix has been up when all of tech is getting bled like they are. Yep.
All right, we got out of Nokia, which might have been right or wrong. That was a good trade there to get out of Nokia. We ran the TQs all day today, and it's too bad that it's really just tanking. I mean, that was our 85 short there as we posted up on the sticky note. No sticky note tomorrow, but that was awesome. And then so was USO up there at 117. So that's another look, although USO is battling back right now as we hear more about, obviously, these drone strikes. So that kind of sucks. And there's the out, man. A break of 200, we're out. So it breaks that 25 period moving average. We had less than 5% left, as we talked about, so that was a good out right there as we made, like I said, that was a very, very profitable trade there. That was $8 with $2 worth of risk, but whatever. It's just interesting because I feel like that move would have continued, but unfortunately,
I guess
we do have the imbalances that are just affecting everything right now. So, look at NVIDIA, like basically, actually that wasn't too bad for NVIDIA. NVIDIA was basically 209 down to 208 and now dancing around there. So it didn't affect it too much. We had the EWY, again, this is that exchange ETF over there in South Korea. We talked to that with one, came about and talked a little bit about the Asian market. So that's an interesting look there. And then as Neil mentioned, Intel, might be prime for a move lower. That's down 8%. I don't really know. Adira, was there a specific story about the semis today? Because we have Intel down 8%. I mean,
no, it's
there's
NVIDIA.
the whole financing with NVIDIA, but that was from yesterday before the bell. That's really it. This Oracle thing I'm seeing some people say could be like a late day issue, but that's it.
Because
I think it is NVIDIA news. And if in all these other companies having to raise money.
AMD's down 7%.
But NVIDIA having to go to the bond market, not having to, but going and tapping the bond market for $20 billion and possibly up to $25 billion.
2%, but yeah.
I feel like that's like the kind of thing that, well, if they're doing it, then what does that mean for everybody else? And so people are ringing the register. It feels like that could be the thing. That poll, it was dead on about the 200.
Yep.
Like the battle and war that's going on SpaceX. Here we can actually flip to the stock. The war that's going on at $200 is like they're just flipping it back and forth, and you could get honestly looking at the time and sales. Forget about the level 2. Looking at the time and sales of this thing for too long can give you like an aneurysm or something. It's absolutely wild, but it is now pared down. Only 200. I'll just give you this one because who cares? about some of these other names. It is now pared down to 180,000 to the buy side. So it's still a buy and bounce, but they've pared most of it off. That's a big flip. That was a big flip move at 350 on SpaceX. It wasn't even that big of an imbalance, but that's worth looking at. Tomorrow, forget about looking at like Intel for a flip trade. That was the 355 flip trade was on SpaceX, right there. Like you just go, there's a sell imbalance, you just take that like at 354 and then just go in the other direction. And it looks like it will close above 201. Less than a minute to go. Yatube is telling you that Roblox is up 8%.
I saw that. We had a little talk about yesterday about Roblox, and I was like,
oh yeah?
Well, yeah, I just said that I think it's just ridiculous
It's
you know,
getting
how some of these restrictions just keep on getting hit there. And, you know, people are going to be able to choose whatever they want to at some point. And, yeah, Roblox, wow. Was there news on Roblox today? Because that's, again, kind of bucking the trend. Roblox has now had quite an aggressive week, man, that low. And we had just talked about this. That's interesting. I mean, we talk about a lot of things on here. I can't trade everything. Yep.
At 8 a.m., they announced new age-based accounts that are available worldwide. I guess that would assuage some concerns that people have about this company not really expressing too much concern for the safety of children, to put it very mildly.
Well,
yeah, so I mean, like I said, I don't know if that's a solution here or not, but yeah, that is a good one. And then for some reason, I know you saw CoreWeave there in the chat. Someone put that in the chat as well. As we want to thank VinFast here for sponsoring this last minute. Go scan that QR code. Go figure out about VinFast and what they're up to. CoreWeave up 10% today. All right, man. It's always nice.
Points.
There's a little thing that we have here on prop trading floor at Real Trading called LFT. That means loss from top, and we're at 0 today. So we end the day at our highest spot that we've been at. So there it goes, man. And a lot of that thanks, obviously, to some of the trades that we've done right here with you guys. We found Nokia there at the end of the day, or in the middle of the day, sort of. This wasn't a huge trade, but that was our big position there. It was just 4 or 5 pennies, but it still added to the bottom line there. And then SpaceX at the end was really nice. So that was good. And then we should have had this Google long, but we put it the wrong order in, and that's that, man. And then to end the day with the Qs would have been nice, but that just fell off, and we should have probably shorted the 200 period there. So yeah, we'll be back, and we did have the short today on the Qs at $85, and this, like I said, this won't be here tomorrow, but you know, double check, and this is what we talk about. Get prepared every single day. There's the TQs at 85. Right, so market feels tired. I feel like that makes sense. We're down 2% here today. Can't go up forever, or can it? That was another day where we came.
Well, it can go forever. It's just not every day.
And we came really close again to making a top of the market again today, but just faded off of that.
Temp top before Fed. Temporary top before Fed. That's what it feels like. That's what it smells like. But you know what?
Oh, yeah, tomorrow's Fed.
We'll find out tomorrow when we run it back for more of the same. Hey, want to shout out to our special guest.
Popo Joe tomorrow. They're going to be banning everybody.
Popo Joe. We're going to slow it down with the bans. We love the chat. I don't care what. You got to ban people. I don't ban anyone. Okay, so Joe's saying he doesn't ban people.
No, he times them out.
He times them out. Don't test Joe. Test Joe. Mess with him. I want y'all to mess with Joe tomorrow. I want y'all to mess with Joe in the chat tomorrow.
Joe, I mean, unfortunately, Joe doesn't have his mic.
He doesn't have his mic on. He's like, stop with the Popo Joe.
We are going to get in trouble.
No, it's all good. I think we love the banter. We love the community. It's a heck of a lot of fun. You want to shout, what a big thank you, and of course, shout out to the entire team. And great interview, of course, with Adara this afternoon. Mr. Sloan, a good friend of the show, man. And shout out to BetaPro.
You don't realize how tough, we used to have a moderator. Now I realize how tough that job probably was, because
I can imagine.
You know, trying to control everybody here.
I'm not.
So yeah, man, the market's going to be down 2% plus
chat.
As we continue to go on, man. The TQs, we want to thank Eric Sloan from Global X, of course, to come through again as this market continues to make lows. Bitcoin back to 65.5. All right, enjoy tomorrow with Joe. Yeah, it'll be fun time. Hopefully the rain doesn't come or stops or whatever.
Gorgeous
right
today.
there. Yeah, see the problem is Marissa just messaged me. Gia's almost done her massage. That's really nice. Like, I haven't had a massage in 10 years.
In all fairness, if you are as active and training as hard as he is doing,
that's why.
That is
she goes to Stretch Lab. She goes to Stretch Lab. She goes.
That is everything, dude.
You know what she was on yesterday? She was on a treadmill for skating.
Yeah.
So it's.
Trust me.
I can't control the
You
passion.
have to. Honestly, massage the cold bath.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
can't recover properly without that stuff, man.
I mean, we said SpaceX would recover nicely, and there it is, man. I mean, even when I was short, I was saying this thing's going to close above 200. So let's wait to see what happens tomorrow on SpaceX. Join everybody back tomorrow. We do have a cover, of course, of the Fed. So at 2:15. Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Tiffany, Andre. Thanks, One, for his update there. Fabian, Brendo, Eric. We talked about that already. Thanks, Adara, Sia, and everybody, Joe, Sharif, everybody that's part of the show. We want to thank you for watching. Make sure you come back tomorrow and check out our Spanish channel. Buenos dias, buenas noches, everybody.
Holla. See you tomorrow.